Good morning, welcome to the Sara Oval for this fifth Group A match today. This one between India and Zimbabwe. India with an unbeaten record, they've won all four of their matches. And Zimbabwe just the one victory over Thailand, as you can see there. They need a win today, Zimbabwe, to try and just get up above Ireland and get that third place into next week's Super Sixes. India to win to finish top of the group and finish a very impressive Group A. So that's the situation there. Group B, similar in a way. South Africa have looked very impressive. They finishing off their matches today to finish top of the table, and Pakistan should finish second and Bangladesh third. Hopefully those will be the games that we'll see, the teams that we'll see in the Super Sixes next week. So important toss here. Who's going to bat first? Let's go down and find out from Anjum.
The all-important toss and the two skippers that matter, Mithali Raj from India, Sean Myers from Zimbabwe are here with me. The match referee Deepan is here with me as well. Deepan, who would be tossing?
India.
India. Mithali Raj would toss the coin. Heads is the call.
Yeah, heads. You want it?
Heads is the call. And Sean, you won the toss. So what is Zimbabwe liking to do?
We're going to have a bat first, take advantage of the weather this morning. Also, it's likely to turn a little bit more in the afternoon. So, we would like to take advantage of that.
Zimbabwe cricket has come a long way. You're one of the top-ranked teams in world cricket today. What are the positives that you're looking to play against India?
One thing we would like to do is bat our 50 overs, go out there, play a very positive game. And the main thing is, we haven't played a team like India before, so we want to go out there and have a good time, learn from this. It's a great learning experience. Haven't played a lot of cricket, but it'll be great.
Any of your players starstruck looking at this Indian lineup?
The nice thing is that our girls don't really know a lot of the Indian girls, especially, when it comes to like international cricket. They have seen a few of them play in the Big Bash, so they're very excited about that. They, playing against, some of the best in the world. They're very excited. It's going to be a good game.
Any players to watch out for, and what's your team composition for today?
We have the same team lineup as we played Sri Lanka. And star players, I would definitely say Nomata Mutasa. She's been performing really well. And Precious Marange, she's also been bowling really well. So, yeah.
Good game. Thanks for your time, and we'll watch out for you, Sean.
Thanks.
Mithali, it's one of those tosses you wanted to go out there and fall on your side and maybe look to bat first?
Yeah, we thought of batting first because before the Super 6 starts, I wanted all the batters to be to have a feel in the middle, and a couple of them haven't really got much runs under their belt. So this is the match that I was looking forward, that those girls could get some confidence.
Your team's been doing reasonably well. Top batters have been in form. A few bowlers that you would have liked to come out there and do their better part in this tournament?
Maybe Shika has been doing well, but the other end, Mansi Joshi or Soni Yadav, I would want the youngsters to get a experience of bowling and taking the load of bowling the new ball in absence of Julan Goswami. But the spinners have been doing extremely well.
Good youngsters coming in through the ranks. A word about them?
Well, Deepti Sharma is one who's been consistent in a couple of series for India, and Devika Vedya, who's proved her worth coming top of the order because she usually bats in the middle order. So I guess these are the players that maybe in the future, if given proper opportunities, can turn out to be very good for the Indian team.
Go well, Mithali. We look forward to batting as well.
Thank you.
So the news from the centre, Zimbabwe has won the all-important toss and they'll be batting first.
So here are the two lineups. Zimbabwe have won the toss and have decided to bat here. Another glorious morning in Colombo. I've seen nothing other than great weather in the last week. There are the teams. Zimbabwe, Precious Marange, they're one of their star players, and looking down at the very bottom there, Marianne Masonda. She's been consistent with the bat and 20 and a couple of 30s in their matches so far. Who stands out for you in that Zimbabwe team?
Yeah, there's two batsmen that have really stood out for me, like you say, Monsoda and Marange. They've both scored sort of 35s and 20s in all their games so far, and I think they are by far their best batsmen in this squad, and I think they're going to have to to really find a way to dig it out today. It's going to be tough. We know that Indian lineup, especially two bowlers that have excited me, Mansi Joshi has really stood out, and also Pandey as well. They've both been two bowlers who are going to be tough to face up top. So, look, I think there's opportunity. One of the bowlers as well, you might have mentioned her, but Murtaza, she picked up a 4 for 28 in this tournament and shows that she's capable of, finding a way to get that breakthrough. Lots of pace they have, the Zimbabweans. So I think it's going to be tough for them, very tough, but they're going to be relying on their batters to get them through.
Yeah, they need to set something of a score. We saw Bangladesh here against India last week, and Bangladesh, in fact, a couple of days ago, Bangladesh didn't get enough runs, did they? They were playing South Africa, not India. Oh, too early in the morning for me. But against one of the top teams, and they got 100. It was never going to be enough to defend. You'd reckon Zimbabwe, absolute minimum, get 160, 170.
I think for them they're going to need to, being realistic, I think they need to try and get a 150 to 175 to have some sort of impact and get those 2 points that they're going to be seeking and hopefully looking for.
The other thing they must do, looking at that table, if Zimbabwe are to win today, which would be a massive upset, they would also need to improve their net run rate, because that would be the deciding factor on who goes through into the Super Sixes. So they've got quite a little bit to make up, as you can see there on Ireland, who are currently sitting in third place, Ireland having finished their matches. So let's have a look at... that's the situation. Have a look at the pitch here. Did you pop up now to have a look this morning?
I've had a look. So we're back to the one to the right of the first wicket that we played on. So another fresh wicket today. I think we're going to see what we've seen consistently through. It's not carrying through very quickly, but what it is doing is consistent bounce. There's grass that's been holding together, so although it is a bit dry and dusty, it is managing to stay together. So we're seeing consistent bounce. I think with Zimbabwe batting first, this is their best chance of batting on it before it starts to get worn. But look at that, plenty of bare patches there. You can just see towards as you're getting towards the batting crease. So it's going to be tough going.
Yeah, I think the Indian spinners might enjoy that surface a little bit. There are the two umpires, just getting everything ready.
Got two umpires in today, haven't we? Ian Ramage and then Kathy Cross. Kathy Cross has been around for a long time, so there's four female umpires in this tournament today. There she is, 59. She's been around for a long time. Kathleen Cross from New Zealand, very experienced umpire, and so she's one of the 4 females around in this tournament, and of course will bring her experience to this proceedings today.
And at the other end, Ian Ramage, who's been around a fair while as well himself. County cricketer back in the mists of time, but very good umpire, of course, these days. Batsmen on their way out. So we're expecting perhaps they'll need to see off this new ball attack, and say just go about it, not get carried away. So we've got Loreen Toshima going out to open the batting. What do we know about these two, Ebs?
Yeah, not too much. I know Toshima's picked up a little start. She got a 20 odd in one of the earlier games, but she hasn't necessarily got off to a flyer. The opening partners haven't necessarily scored runs so far in this tournament. They've been relying heavily on that middle order, like we talked about Mansuda and Marangi in particular. But Toshima, she did get a nice 25 start against Ireland, which suggests that she's capable. But this, for me as well, is going to be one of the first time I've ever seen Zimbabwe play. Looking at them in the nets, they looked very technically correct, some of the players. Hitting through the line, there she is, Toshima just walking about. But yeah, I think these two are going to need to get a start. We know that she was capable of scoring those runs against Ireland. Just looking there at the movement, it looks like there's some decent technique in there, but we'll have to see as the balls come down and get bowled. It's going to be tough prospect against the two Indian bowlers who are real revelations for me, in particular Joshi. I think she's one of the more athletic Indian players that we've seen. So let's see how they they fare against this tough bowling lineup.
So yes, it'll be a challenge. Zimbabwe have never played any ODIs. They've not got ODI status. If they could win today and win well, that would put them into the Super Sixes, and that would be a big achievement. It's a big ask though. India very strong side. Mansi Joshi opening the bowling, and let's see how. This is a big test for the Zimbabwe. There'll be a little bit, the opening batsman out there, there'll be a little bit of a flutter going on, I would imagine, a few nerves, and what am I going to do here? Certainly I don't think the pace is going to worry them, though, Ebony. I don't think maybe the movement and the accuracy, but they, as you said, they will have seen the pace before.
Great shape there by Mansi. First delivery on the money. She, for me, stands out as most probably one of the most exciting players. The last exciting player was Harmanpreet Kaur a number of years back. She's been around for a while, but Joshi, look at this action. Smooth shape. She pitches it up. It doesn't matter what level of team you are. That is a tough ball to face. I think actually there's more pressure on India here to be as clinical as South Africa were, as we saw in the game a couple of days ago.
A little bit of movement again there, away from the bat, and you can see the sort of tentativeness of the opening batsman. Only a small woman. Well, that's the end of Mupat Chikwa. She's gone. I don't know what she was trying to do with that ball, because the shot she was playing, it was on to her far too quickly, and really this could only go up in the air. Let's have a look. Quick bowling, short delivery. She wants to be positive, but that ball was on her much too quickly for that shot. And there's the first wicket, a straightforward cordon bowl for Mansi Joshi, and off goes Modesta.
Tough going that really is. It's going to be an ask, isn't it? Because you're facing bowlers you haven't faced before. What usually happens when you play some of the lower teams, you're expecting to get the ball a bit shorter or over pitched, but that was perfectly on the money. So tough going, but this is one of the key batters we've been talking about, Musonda. She's been around, scoring a few runs in that middle order. She's picked up a nice couple of 30s. Running there, I like seeing that. She's trying to get her feet moving, and that's something her partner who's just gone out didn't do. Didn't move her feet very well.
And that's at least Musonda is not going to be... She's coming into this innings with a little bit of form behind her, having a 20 and a couple of 30s in her 3 innings to date. So she'll be confident. Don't think she'll be too intimidated. Joshi again.
Look at those slips there, David. This is good for Mithali Raj. I mean, she's seeing the ball carry through, so she's got 1, 2, 3 in there and a catching gully. You don't see this too often in the one-day match.
I'll tell you what, this is this is an 8-1 field. There's just the one wide mid-on. There's no other fielder. The ball is shaping away from the bat, of course, and you'd think it's difficult to get it onto the leg side if she doesn't stray. Another good delivery.
Let's just have a look at Joshi bowling nicely again. Here's the wicket. Getting through nice and smoothly. Look at that. Just too difficult. She was trying to force a ball, and that's partly to do with the field as well. Trying to force a ball onto that leg side. Not there.
Just wasn't there for the shot. There was only one place that ball was going, and it was up in the air, wasn't it? And not very far up in the air. Lovely approach to the crease from Joshi.
I'll tell you what, that is class. This is what India need to be producing: athletic, dynamic cricketers. Let's just have a little look at her action. I'm a big fan. Look at these arms, everything very smooth. She's very bouncy on the feet. Let's look at this as she comes into the coil position, very balanced, nice, simple, rhythmic, and then presents the seam nicely. This is where the swing's coming from, that last flick of the wrist all the way through. Perfect, absolutely perfect.
You don't get too many better opening overs than that, do you? Right from the first delivery, shaping away from the bat, wicket third ball, and there we have Zimbabwe, a tough ask on their hands today. There's Soni Yadav. We've seen her a couple of times already in this tournament. Another very, very good opening bowler.
I think with Goswami being injured, sometimes, you know, teams are a bit worried about losing a key bowler, but when you've got these players coming through, this to me is quite exciting. There's another generation to be developed.
That's through outside the off stump. Just about gets away with that one. Tashuma happy to just leave that one. Just watch it through to the keeper. 2 slips and a gully. Very much a third slip coming in now. So on the attack. Oh no, they can't decide. Maybe second gully going in there. Can't quite decide where they are at the moment. They're sorting themselves out. So 2 slips, 2 gullies, I'm going to call that. Just outside the off stump. Sometimes when you've got such a one-sided field, again we're looking at 8-1 here, bowler sometimes doesn't want to get too close to off stump. Can bowl a little bit too wide.
Yeah, you're right here, and I think the key is going to be for Yadav to try and probe mostly with that 4/5 stump line, but you're right, you get a bit nervous about getting straight, easy to leak runs.
That was certainly on the money, and tried to pull the bat out of the way of that. Well, it did Tashuma, and it's just managed to angle it down. But that's where she wants to be bowling. It's I would almost give her a little bit of cover, in the sense there's Tashuma. I'd give the bowler a little bit of cover, perhaps at square leg, give her that little bit more confidence. That's angled down into the gully. They're going to go for a quick single and through easily enough. So that's the first run off the bat. Tashuma off the mark. Again, just trying to run that down to third man. But sometimes take yourself out from mid off. Put yourself over to square leg there, and just say to the batsman, "You want to hit through mid off? Go on, have a drive. That's what we want you to do." Ball's moving away from the bat. Masonda on strike now. Again angled down towards those gullies. Just needs a little bit more coverage for me. A little bit on square leg. Yadav's less consistent. She hasn't picked up her first wicket. She's only bowled in the other game against Sri Lanka. We've seen, again, good pace, but just not able to extract the shape that we've seen from either Pandey or from Mansi. So that's something that she'll be looking at. Her captain will need her to sort of step up, because if you want to eke yourself into this team now as a seamer, I think with Goswami to come back, with Mansi, Pandey, I think it's going to be tough, and she'll only at the moment be looking at that sort of third or fourth or backup seamer option. So although she's got good pace at the moment, there's not enough consistency and very little movement. Tashuma, you'll notice, taking a guard some way outside the crease. So that's a positive a positive sign. How she's going to cope against this, we'll see. Gain shape away from the bat.
That's a good move, that, as a batter, for a number of reasons. One, it will cut down the shape of the ball, so normally when it starts swinging it just reduces that amount. But also, as well, because the ball comes a little bit quicker on a slow pitch, it'll allow the ball to come on. So this is really positive here to Schumann. Let's hope she can get her feet moving. But it's good to see she's thinking as well. This is a good start. She's had some runs, like we say, a nice start at 25 against Ireland.
Good diving stop there in the gully. That would have to be one of the worries, wouldn't it? That the top score so far for Zimbabwe in all three of their matches is 35. And you'd think if they're going to put some runs on the board today, somebody's got to grab the game and make a big 50 here. Plenty of time to bat this morning. Decent enough pitch. Lovely, lovely day for batting. Beautiful line.
This is so good. I'm really excited, but this is someone I'll be going back talking to a lot of people about, because I don't think you see bowlers come through who've got the action, first of all, which you think means that they could have a long career. You know, sometimes you see bowlers who maybe get the movement, but you think there's dangers with, you know, issues in terms of having a mixed action and they might break down. But she's got very smooth action, getting some shape. Maybe a yard or two of pace possible left in her as well.
Ball going down leg side. Umpire not interested in that.
This is a good delivery here, getting nice and full, keeping everything going down the line, just drifting though. Maybe would have hit fourth stump down that leg side. I think that's actually a ploy that she should put. She's bowled with some nice sort of back of a length deliveries, which are good to better bowlers, but if she keeps that fuller one to slightly... Oh, she's gone too full now.
Gone too full, and again looking for that ball angling back in. If the ball doesn't swing, of course, and you started off on that line and it keeps going, or it swings the other way, then of course you are in trouble as a quicker bowler. It's a welcome second run for Zimbabwe. But it's the old three-card trick, isn't it? To a couple swinging away from the bat and then nip one back in and look for the LBW decision. It's back outside, shaping away. Favourite trick of an old mate of mine in county cricket, Tim Murter. The swing away, bring one back in for the LBW. And he's about the same pace as Muncie Joshi.
I'm just wondering, we've just seen a couple a little bit wider. She's got that movement. You're right, whether she's going to see if she's got the one. I think it's important for her to develop that ability to be able to move it both ways if she can, with the white ball especially. Well,
see, that one swung away again. So that's the end of the over.
The only danger that I see with Mancie's bowling against, say, some of the bigger teams, maybe South Africa and up, is just that she seems to be settled into that nice length, swinging away, which is great. And that is good, but I think the bigger teams could line her up. They could just look at, because of the pace, because of the lack of variety, she could just be somebody who other teams look to and think that there's opportunity to cash in. So she's definitely got the makings of a good bowler. I think the key now is going to be her development, developing those variations. Like you say, maybe that one can come back, whether there's a slower ball in there. It's not needed now, but I just think as well, especially against a Zimbabwe team, she'll need to have that variety.
Start of a new over from Yadav. Bustly little bowler. Hasn't got the height, of course, of Joshi. Skiddy bowler. 2 slips and 2 gullies in there. Waiting for a little tickle. And that's That's going to be a wide, I would have thought, but no. Umpire Ramage in a generous mood today. Let's have a look at that. Maybe just inside the line. In good mood today. Had yesterday off, of course. The umpire maybe had a little trip to the seaside. Puts everybody in a good mood. That good delivery.
Much better, isn't it? I think Raj needs to make sure, just with her bowlers, that they bowl like that last one. They're nice and tight to the stump. Like you say, Yadav's breaking into the team. She's only got one ODI to her name, a genuine ODI to her name previously to this. This is her second game. She's been around for a little while, but clearly new to the environment. But this is a good opportunity. If she can keep it stump to stump like that last delivery. It's a bit short there.
Maybe a little bit high. I thought this was a good shout. A little bit high.
A little bit high, just slightly short. But that's what you want. You saw the batsman square up there, trying to play across the line. Only one man on the leg side.
Chasing a wide one. Hasn't quite got it right at the moment. Sonny Yadav.
Takes her time back to the run-up, doesn't she? Just strolling in. No pressure at the moment. The over rates have been good in all the games that we've seen so far.
Another little feel for that one. That was a better delivery. How close was that to the bat? Ooh. Got very close to this one, I think, if we have a look, Ebony. Or maybe not. Just teasing the slips there.
She is taking in the deep breaths. It's hard work in this heat, you know, whether you're used to being in this subcontinent or not. A few photographers out. It must be hot out there. I mean, I struggled being directly in the heat for a long time. Look at that, full hat on, sunnies.
At least they haven't got the hot sand under their feet as well.
Did you find that tough yesterday, did you, DT?
I was hopping about like Dudley Moore in the film 10. Any old listeners will remember that one. Scorching hot out by the sea, down by Galway, but a very good day off. He won't be listening, but our thanks to Hamid, the taxi driver.
I told him the link to watch this on today.
Found the gap there, nicely timed. I think that's the way to the boundary.
That's racing, isn't it?
Oh. Nice bit of fielding in tandem there.
That's a nice shot here from Suma. Just punched it, didn't try to overhit it. Ball got quite high.
I'm watching the batsman in the background here. Do you not think they could have gone a little bit quicker? Maybe look for a third?
This is almost too good for these bats. When you get the ball shaping away, there's nothing more frustrating than that feeling as a bowler when you're trying to get your ball through the line.
This is a beauty. Look at this.
That
oh,
shape. That's perfect. Too good.
That's the sort of one where you follow through and say, too good for you, girl.
You think she should be given a bit of chirp already? It's only the fifth over.
This is an impressive opening spell. I know it's against Zimbabwe batters who are perhaps not as experienced and not as threatening as some of the other teams, but this is a very, very impressive opening spell from Mansi Joshi. she got any experience overseas in the various leagues? She hasn't been down to the big bash as yet, and maybe one of the English teams might be having a look at her.
I just wonder with her bowling action, it's tough. So different bowlers find a way to get near that off stump in different ways. Some will look to get tighter to the stump, some will just angle their arm differently. Because she is so consistent with the action that she has, I'm wondering if there's room for her to get a little bit tighter to the stumps, maybe, because exactly the ball that she's bowling, if she can get it to start on middle stump rather than start on the off stump, then that will cause these batsmen to play every ball. But at the moment, she's almost too consistent, just shaping away.
Well, if she's going to keep bowling that line, then she does need the variation. She does need the ball that nips back in and keeps the batsman honest. Because if you can see the ball starting to shape away every time, then quite happy to leave it through to the keeper. But few words of advice there.
No, good tattoo on the arm there. We're starting to see more tattoos appear in the women's game. I think it's Sarah Coit of Australia's got a full tattooed arm. There you can see it. There's plenty of tattoos now going around in the girls. That's quite a decent sized one actually. Covers quite a bit of the forearm. Can't quite make out what it is.
You're a fan of the old tattoos?
Yeah, I've got a tattoo.
Squared up a little bit by that one, but still bowling to this 8-1 field. And Anjum making her way rather noisily into the box at the back there. I don't know, she's wiped out a couple of chairs and slammed the door, but she'll be in a minute. She's still recovering from... As edge and over the slips, and that's away to third man, and it doesn't get to the boundary, just the one. But that's just cleared second slip there. And let's have a look at that one again. She's gone for the shot outside the off stump, and go hard. She's gone hard, and that's cleared second slip. And good stop on the boundary there. Excellent stop. And just the one run there. So here's Yadav again, and that time flirting with the wide line, but gets away with it again. Anjum's had one of those mornings. She had to come to work in a tuk-tuk.
Good morning, David. Not that we haven't met earlier than this morning, but yes, it's been quite an enjoyable ride, haven't we? Had a tuk-tuk ride early this morning, getting to the ground. A car didn't arrive in time, so yeah, and we never want to get late because we're the commentators.
Pushed into the offside, and yeah, great fun. I'm sure most of you listening know what a tuk-tuk is. It's basically a sort of motorbike with a bit of a cab on the back, and they dodge in and out of the traffic. And well, shall we say they're not the most conservative of drivers, are they? They're a little bit take a few chances.
Well, if somebody hasn't seen the tuk-tuk, they can come anywhere in the Asian part of the world and experience that, because it's one of those most dodgy drives that you can ever experience, but the quickest, because they never have any rules to follow. They can just go around anywhere.
Yes, you're sort of queuing in 2 lanes of traffic, and suddenly the tuk-tuks make it a 3rd lane. You think, oh, what's going on here? Because they're quite small. I suppose they'd be, maybe a metre wide, something like that. And
I
dodge in and
remember you
out.
saying, let's not wait for the car. The tuk-tuk is faster, even if it's less safer.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I could see Anjum sitting next to me, wondering where her chauffeur had got to. 6 overs gone, 5 for 1. And Zimbabwe making a steady enough start. Lost the first wicket in the first over. Machikwa was slow onto trying to pull shot that was far too adventurous, far too early in the innings. and spooned a catch back to Joshi. Since then, though, just the odd scare. Been able to leave quite a bit outside the off stump.
Yeah, they've been an impressive start at the toss. I was talking to both these skippers, and both wanted to bat there first, which is actually a positive sign, because you want to get out there and put runs on the board. I've always felt if a team wants to go out there and bat first, it's an aggressive move. It's a positive move.
Joshi continues. And that's getting up, angled down nicely by Masonda. She's got another single. Marianne Masonda, she's been the consistent batter in this Zimbabwe lineup. 20 against Ireland, couple of 30s. So she's in reasonable nick.
And this girl has been impressive, Mansi Joshi. She swung the ball, kept it right up at the bat.
Played late there, down into the gully.
You know, it's very important because when you know a opposition batter is not really looking to attack against you, to keep consistently egging at one line and length. And that's where the bowler, her perseverance of hitting the right line and the lengths and shaping the ball away, because you've got an attacking field, you've got 3 slips and a gully waiting in anticipation. It becomes extremely important and is actually a test of good concentration, of hitting those lengths consistently.
That one again has gone through, got a little bit extra out of the pitch. I think she put some effort in there, maybe just a little bit more. And we'll see the here again, bounce there, and just left it at the last moment. Good delivery. Ebony and I are very impressed with Mansi Joshi this morning. 1 or 2 just slipped down the leg side when she's looked to bring the ball back in, but at the moment bowling very well.
Yeah, I like the action as well. She tries to get a good side on in the delivery stride, and that helps her get the ball to shape away as well. The more times that she goes out there and plays this great cricket, she'll be more aware as to if she has to be hitting those lengths consistently with pace and swing, just maintain the bowling shape and just have a good side on action.
Beautiful, beautiful delivery, and it's just tempting. It looks as though it's there for the drive, and then away it tails at the last moment. Let's have a look at this. Good rhythm, hasn't she? She approaches the crease.
Yeah, good relaxed run up. I think it's very important to be, as a fast bowler, having a relaxed run up, and she tries to get into a load position. Look at the left hand, right up there, and a good follow through. Strong approach.
Again, that very good line around 4th, 5th stump. Not much the batsman can do with this, and that's good bowling, because both these bowlers bowling to 8-1 fields. Is that something you adopted much when you were captain, Anjum? Would you sometimes do away with almost all the fielders on the onside? I always like to see a little bit of cover, maybe a backward square leg as well, you know.
Yeah, I agree. At least have one fielder. I think I've had at least 2 fielders on the onside at all times, because even if, as the captain, I'm asking my bowler to attack on the offside, there is always going to be a little temptation to bowl just on the stumps and bowl on the onside as well. So at least one fielder to go and run.
This field at the moment, as you can see, there's the 2 slips, 2 gullies, 3rd man, and then the 3 saving 1. The only fielder on the onside is wide mid-on. So I agree with you entirely there. The bowler can sometimes just be a little bit extra careful and not attack the stumps as much as they would if they had a backward square leg, just to cut off that avenue of run scoring on the leg side, and do away with the mid-off. Say, look, you want me to hit me through mid-off, that's what I want you to do.
I agree. I completely agree.
That's wide ball, smashed away for 4, over pitched, and first boundary of the morning. And Masunda wasn't going to miss out on this one. Thank you very much.
That was a half tracker, completely wanted to be hit. Nothing much that a batter wanted as a gift from Soni Yadav to break those shackles and get a welcome boundary. She did it perfectly well.
Better delivery. Good response.
It's just a temptation for skippers to not leave the mid-off region open because you feel that it's a one-day format of the game. Yes, even if you want to attack, you have to have certain form of defense going. And so you take a 3-field ring field on the offside of a point cover and a mid-off to just stop that extra bit of boundary.
Wafty sort of shot there. She won't be happy about that.
To stop that boundary that can actually come in and leak those runs, because it's just giving a lot of confidence to the bowler. Maybe as the game progresses, or as even Soni Yadav being a youngster in international cricket, this is only her second game that she's playing, the more she realizes that this is the line and length that she has to continue bowling. I think as time progresses, she will gain the confidence of the skipper.
Well bowled. Oh, yes, I agree with you, Sonny. Oh, how did that not hit timber of some sort, she thinks? Edge? Stump? Just missed both of them. Excellent delivery. To be fair, we haven't actually seen any runs leaking away through square leg or down to fine leg. So in that sense the tactics work, but just tempt the batter a little bit. Wider that time. Finishes the over. Yadav 0 for 6. Consistent enough from her 4 overs.
It's a good wicket to bowl on as well. Mentioned that both skippers wanted to go out there and bat, which is, of course, to be fair to both the sides, they wanted to score those runs in. But it's actually a good wicket to bat on. Good wicket to bowl for the seamers. We saw the wicket early on, and this is the same wicket when the first game of this competition between India and Sri Lanka was played, and we've come back to the same track. It's had a 3 days of rest, not been used at all. Just see those patch of grass, and mind you, that's just not short grass, that's clusters of grass, and it's got an even covering of it, which is just prominent at those areas where a bowler likes to hit consistently to get that kind of a shape away.
That's again shaping away, again played square of the wicket, again no run. Where should the Zimbabwe batters be looking to find their runs here against Mansi Joshi?
The sad part is that they've not looked to attack or make the bowlers change their line. A little bit of a shimmy down the track, or covering the stumps, walking across and trying to play with the swing. If they try to do that, then at least you're trying to make an effort, or at least making the bowler make an effort of shifting the line and length. Because if I'm a batter and I'm stuck to such kind of seam bowling, both the bowlers from either ends just shaping the ball away, you have to do something. Drop and run, just take a different stance. If you have a leg stump stance in your approach, then at least come on to the middle stump to get closer to the swing of the ball and look to play straight.
Yeah, looked at the moment is exactly what I was thinking, Anjum. Play straight. We talk about playing through the V, and there's a fairly wide mid-off and a very wide mid-on. There's a lot of grass between the lot of grass between the mid-on and mid-off that you could be looking to push it firmly back past the bowler.
And just like the previous delivery that Mansi Joshi bowled, just look at the length and the line. This was a delivery pitched on off and middle. Just a perfect ball to be driven back towards the bowler. Playing on the rise, that we call it. But because as a batter, your mindset is to defend, not get out, you miss even those deliveries whereby you can score on.
Yeah, certainly that's where I'd be looking to score. I'd be looking to get over towards off stump and hit it back towards the non-striker, somewhere in that sort of pretty straight, but maybe if you can just to the onside of straight. So at the moment they are very much dependent just to come through the straight mid-on area. Very much dependent on defence at the moment. Nothing wrong with that. 10 for 1, arguably better than 25 for 3 or 4 at this stage. So keep your wickets intact. Don't score too many runs in the dressing room, do you?
Never.
I'm sure you'd have found a way, Anjum, but you know.
Never. I am 100% agreeing with you. You've never scored runs in the dressing room. And that's the worst place to be when the match is on.
Indeed.
When I say worst place, it's not because it's of anything else of an environment, but it's just that you don't want anybody else to be out there in the center while you are just taking your shoes and leg guards off and waiting for others to come back who are scoring very much in the center.
Change in the field now. We're going to actually see a long leg or a deep backward square going out. So a second fielder coming into the onside, and that makes it even wider. Makes it even wider, the gap between mid-on and mid-off for the straight drive, but also a gap through extra cover as well. So a bit of temptation coming round the wicket. Interesting.
Just like you wanted it, David. Remove the mid-off. She's done away with one fielder on the offside. 9 none, 10 for 1.
You're not sure about the round the wicket though, angling across, but well, they're thinking, they're trying different things, and one of the things that India will be doing today is trying out little tactics, trying out little variations, different angles that perhaps they'll be able to use in next week's Super 6 games, or this week's Super 6 games, should I say. We've got games this week on Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, where the top 3 in Group A, this is Group A, probably be India, Sri Lanka and Ireland. They'll be playing the top 3 in Group B, which unless there's a massive upset today, will be South Africa, Pakistan and Bangladesh. So we're continuing with the opening bowlers. Sonia will think she deserves a wicket for her efforts this morning. Just needed to be a little bit more consistent for me. She strayed towards that wide line a bit too much.
This is good practice for Soni Yadav in international cricket. Only in a second ODI. The previous one she was taken for a few runs. Also didn't get enough time to settle in. And I'm sure must have had a few nerves as well. But here, she's got an extended run from her captain. She's got an attacking field. All the nerves and the butterflies that would have been there in the previous game would have reduced by now, so she can focus much on line and length and hitting that line and length consistently.
Oh, that's shaped back in. And the fourth stump is cartwheeling out of the ground.
It's just that it's not
Very
visible
close,
right now.
this one, is it? Look at that. Oh, maybe a fifth stump.
Yeah, cross seam delivery. That one. Trying to shape that ball coming in. I'd also be interested in her using the crease a bit more.
That one's in the air, but it's found the gap. Down to third man. 2 slips, 2 gullies, and the ball flies directly between the 2 of them. pushed up to mid-off. No run there. Let's have a look at this again.
As I was saying, Soni Yadav is just running in. She's concentrating good rhythm that she's been trying to develop. But look at her. She's getting right away from the stumps. She's way behind the foot in the return crease. So that extra step that she could, extra yard that she could use, she's not been able to do that. Oh, that's the first wicket. Soni Yadav, as we speak, has picked up her first international wicket.
Oh, wonderful moment for that. Ball just nipping back into the bat. And I think, has that gone between bat and pad? No answer to that. And that's just gone through bat and pad. Clipped the top of left stump. Cracking delivery, that one. And a great moment for any young bowler, isn't it? There's the end of Tashuma. She's gone for 3 from 33 balls. I don't realise she's faced quite as many deliveries as that, but that's a great moment from Soni Yadav.
Yeah, just as we spoke about Soni Yadav trying to use the crease more often to get those angles covered, and she picks up a wicket. And you're right, a very, very happy and a proud moment for any youngster.
So new batsman coming out is Ashley. Ashley Endaraya. 11 for 2. Not a great situation after 10 overs, but she'll be feeling great at the moment. Soni Yadav, she might even get a 6th over. We've seen 5 overs per bowler, very much the norm for India, and they've been playing these matches at the Sara Oval. We'll be having a double change here in the commentary box with Ebony moving back in, just getting herself all sorted out. And as soon as Ebony's settled, Roshan will take over from me.
Well, congratulations to Yadav for her first international wicket. Much deserved. I mean, toiling away India, a big criticism was just there they were bowling, that 4th stump line, that one she angled in nicely. But here comes Ektabish. I think it's a good move to get the spinners on as quickly as possible. Zimbabwe could just shut up shop, and here we've got the left arm spinner who might just encourage them to try and do something, use their feet or get their hands through the ball. Ektabish is a very good spin bowler. Bowls in a hat, as we've seen many bowl in a hat through this tournament. But if she can bowl, which she's very consistent, if she can look to just bowl that stump to stump line at a pace that encourages Zimbabwe to play some shots, I think then we might see India being able to dominate. For Zimbabwe today really is about survival. You know, they haven't got anything to lose, but equally they might not necessarily have the skills to challenge India as well. So they're going to just want to stay there, hang out, build some experience, maybe learn a bit from facing these bowlers. So they're going to shut up shop as such. But let's just have a look at the field. Again, we're seeing one slip, an extra cover. It looks like somebody might be putting on some pads as well over extra cover, which might indicate they're going in nice and close. You can just see them down there. I can't quite get my head around who that is.
Don't we have the Indian team here?
Number 7 there. Oh, is that Devika Veda? So she'll be coming in. Yeah, she's just adjusting those pads. So she's obviously going to be standing in nice and tight, mostly on that leg side, try and get in the action, which is good. And one thing I could criticise Mitali Raj previously for is just not being aggressive at moments. She needs to, but there you go. Devika Veda, who's done so well so far.
Right, so Bisht will continue. Musunda is the Zimbabwean batsman. Short leg, slip gully, short extra cover. That's good aggressive cricket by India. I like this. I think that's the way to go. Knowing that Zimbabwe is very much on the back foot, I don't see any reason in India trying to be defensive here. They need to go all out for the kill. And oh, this is lofted. This is a good shot. Just over mid-on. Didn't get everything behind it, but they'll get a couple of runs. In fact, could be a run out Had that throw been a bit better, maybe if it was a little bit quicker, flatter, who knows? A run out was in the offing.
Well, Monsuda, one of the more Zimbabwean batsmen with an ability to get the hands through the ball, got one tossed up. They've immediately moved the fielder back. I would be tempted to keep her in.
Yeah, that's a surprise. Yeah, I would have had mid on in anyway. Try and go for another one.
Yeah, just have her sitting deep. Let's just have a look here. This is Mansi doing the fielding. This is the near run out. Well picked up, thrown in. She would have been gone. If she would have taken it, she would have been gone.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Just look at the way this Masunda is leaving the ball. She's not covering the off stump at all. Let's look at it after this ball, maybe. Maybe after this ball. So there is a silly point, but you can't leave a ball without covering your stumps. What was she playing for? Playing for some leg break. It went straight through. Now, she get a single here, quick one. We might be able to show you 2 balls ago what happened. Just look at how she leaves the ball. Look where her back foot is, or the front foot for that matter. Look at the off stump. You can just see the off stump. She's batting on middle stump. How can she leave a ball batting on middle stump without shuffling? That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah, look, we know Zimbabwe here. They don't have ODI status.
Yeah, but it's to do with your technique.
Yeah, but this is
isn't
what I'm saying. This is some of the teams who haven't had much experience. They're in need of technical development, clearly, because you can't play like that. You need to get your feet moving. But there's going to be a massive gap here between these two teams.
In fairness, Zimbabwe have survived. So 11 overs completed, 14 for 2. Zimbabwe has survived without really looking convincing.
They have, and I think their job today, they're just going to see themselves as wanting to hang in there. They know this is a tough ask, and there's 2 ways you go about it. You either decide to just say nothing to lose and go out and just try and express yourself, but they're equally doing that. With that technique, they could end up finishing pretty uncomfortable, but let's just let's see how they can manage to progress.
Well, take a look at this, Ebony. I'm going to ask you a question on that. The hair, that's the hair I'm talking about. Maybe we'll try and get a close up on the hairdo of Ashley, who's the non-strikers in. Yeah, well, it's a more of a frontal. Oh, that's ideal. She's just turned the hairdo. Now tell me about that hair. Is it natural?
Yeah, very nice curly natural afro hair.
No, you're wrong.
Is it?
You're wrong.
Is it? I don't know. I've never.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I was in Zimbabwe. They got some amazing hairstyles, and I was wondering how can you do this? And I've just found out that they're hair extensions. They're hair extensions. You just extend your hair in different ways and different styles. So I get the feeling that's a hair extension, and that's very unique for the African world. Oh my God, goodness again, she seemed to leave the ball without getting across. But just on that point, the African world seemed to be thriving with these hair extensions. They look so good with different kinds of hair, colored hair, different styles, plaited, straight. In fact, when I first saw you, I was wondering whether this was hair extension.
This is all my own hair, Roshan.
Yeah,
I
realized it. I realized it. But I'll promise you I took a good look.
Oh, you were checking, were you? Good shot there. This is a very good shot. Got too full there, Monsoda. Masonda definitely got her hands through that nicely. Look at this.
But I think that's bad fielding. She did get a bad bounce. Just look at this. Bad fielding. Yeah, it bounced badly. I think she's just at the edge of the square. But you'd expect her to be behind it. Get the body behind it. Well, they can afford a few lapses like this. They're up against Zimbabwe, which is not considered to be a top-notch team. So the odd lapses could be excused, though it's not acceptable. But you can't have things like that when you play at the highest level or against the best teams.
And just to continue on your hairstyle, in the European world or in the English world, there's plenty of hair extensions going on. All the celebs do it these days. I know friends who...
The hair extensions.
Yeah, cool. English ladies getting they want to go from, say, shoulder length to more like mid-back length.
Now, I've been surprised. It seemed to take a long time. They need to virtually stitch it.
Yeah, I think it's a whole process.
And the salons in Zimbabwe in particular aren't into color or anything like that. Oh, good shot. Good shot. That's it with a lot of power. Short and wide. Masonda has looked good. She's left badly, but she's played some good shots. Just like this.
Yeah, nicely played here. Got the width. But the key was she got her hands through the ball. That's the most important thing. Pace of the wicket did the rest of the work. Yadav maybe struggling here. 22 for 2 at the end of 12. And Yadav, who has looked good, but maybe just they're starting to get used to the pace of her bowling at the moment. And maybe I think it's time for change. I say 2 spinners on. It'll encourage them to play some shots, but equally that can bring wickets by them trying to attack. So for me, I'd go 2 spinners now.
Yeah, I think that might be the way to go. But talking about the Indian seamers, I've been very impressed with Mansi Joshi. She'll look the pick. She's looked the best. I think she'll make a decent first-class men's team. The way she runs, she's not quick, but it's just what she brings into her bowling.
Yeah, the shape she gets with it. I think the only danger she's going to have today, she wasn't able to get that line that she bowled. There she is there. That line she bowled was good to this team, but I think on an English team, for example, would line her up. So she needs some variety, I think. Just being able to bowl straight at times.
That's too wide from Bish, just tossing it up. Well, wide outside the off-stump, Ekta Bish. Slipper gully, short leg, silly mid-on or a deepish short mid-wicket. Mid-on. Well bowled. Nicely looped. Like a little bit of turn if that's possible.
Bowling quite wide of the crease there, Bisht. Carrying straight on that one, not much purchase. I wonder if she could get a fraction tighter to the stumps, especially if you want to encourage the batsman to play. The moment she's bowling on that sort of wide guide line.
Bit too wide. She's not what you call an orthodox spinner. She's not someone who really goes up and delivers in an orthodox fashion. She tends to kind of fire it in.
More like a Jadeja type bowler.
Well bowled.
More like a Jadeja type bowler.
Yeah. Jadeja, yes, tends to fire the ball. In fact, most spinners seem to be like that today because they're half test and half T20 bowlers. You'll never have the genuine article. The odd one, maybe Rangan Hera, Dilruwan Pereira. Maybe those are the 2 spinners that come into my mind straight away in terms of pure test bowlers. You take Ashwin, very much everything. Jadeja is about the same. England spinners, no one really worth their salt to speak of. End of the over, 22 for 2, 13 gone.
I just thought there, the last couple of balls she got straighter. She actually bowled tighter to the stumps. And I think if you are going to come quite wide of the crease, then and you're going to kind of spear it, it can be harder to control at times. Whereas if you just get that fraction, and if you're just going to fire it in, coming a little, let's just have a look at this. Here, she's coming a little bit tighter now, much closer to the crease. Previously, she was bowling along the line of that wide guide. Now she's come about a foot to her left, so that's good.
Poonam Yadav, what does she bowl? Leg spin?
Yeah, a little bit of leg spin there I think we're going to see.
Might be interesting because leg spinners are wicket-taking options,
Yeah.
just like good fast bowlers. What's important is just to try and be tempting, just give it a bit more air and maybe turn the ball a bit. You'll have a few attacking shots and certainly also risk-taking strokes. Interesting field. Mid-on, mid-off inside the 30-yard circle, which is good. Slip a very deepish gully, short extra cover on the drive or a deep or a silly mid-off. Further saving one on the offside. It's a well-set field. Just 2 on the leg side. They're not going with a back-foot square leg. Mid-wicket, mid-on. Yadav will start off. Just a little bit slow, little bit too short. needs to get Masunda on the front foot. She seems to like the back foot a lot.
She does, she does. She's battling away here, to give her credit. She's 18 off 36, had a tough start, but she's moving the feet. Is that a possible drop? Kaur's chasing it down.
That's a bye. That's a bye.
Missed everything.
Yeah.
Through the keeper's legs as well, that completely did her. She expected it to bounce a lot more into the hands.
Now the left-hander on strike, short leg in, that's understandable. Are they going to have a leg slip? I don't think so. They'll have a slip. Oh yeah, they're going to... Leg slip is going across. Where is she going to? She's moving across to a backward square leg. Why just a slip and a short leg? With Ashley being so defensive, I would have brought in a silly point.
Yeah, someone right in the face. Also to give a few words as well, which can unsettle the batsman.
So far, the Indian bowling haven't looked threatening. Well, we've seen Mansi, who was good with the new ball, but was unlucky not to get wickets. This is lofted. Should be taken, is it? It is. Caught and bowled. That's a poor shot. Ashley's the batsman out. I always knew that the leg spinner will be a tough proposition to handle, an attacking option. And take a look at this.
Tossed up above the eye line. This is a bit of a panic shot here from Ashley Indiraya. I think she just wasn't sure what to do with it and just decided to get the hands through. Solid catch, to be fair. That was swirling, one of those awkward ones where you're not quite sure where to go. But Ashley, well, she's been there 9 balls and wasn't able to trouble the scorecard. It's going to be tough going now. You can see, you know, for the Zimbabweans that the game plans, I suppose, are not really in place. And at times the technique to be able to support that. And this is the difference, you know, for them. This is important, though, for them to get this exposure. By playing a team like India, they're going to have to go back to the draw board and realise there's still a long way to go. They need to invest in camps. I would like to see more consultant coaches actually going out to these sorts of teams. They might not have the funding to be able to have a full-time coach who's maybe of international standard, but just to have some time to spend with some and that happens in all levels of the game, you know, those high class coaches to just come in and give you those nuggets that you can work on. But well done to Yadav picking up a wicket there, and I just think the spinners are actually going to be the way. It's going to encourage the Zimbabwean batsmen to try and play shots, because otherwise they're shutting up shop against the seam bowlers.
I think Zimbabwe is having a major problem in terms of financing. Who's their head coach? Come to that in a moment. Yeah, they're tossing it up. Batsman crossed on the shot. Masunda will be the... In fact, it's not Nayathi. Masunda on strike. Last ball of the over. Again, beautifully bowled. Masunda was interested in that drive. Just dropped the bat, allowed it to spin past the outside edge. 23 for 3.
Yeah, not too much information on the Zimbabwean coach. His name's Trevor Fourie. He's 42 years old, and he's been looking after the squad for a little while. But again, it's, you know, obviously Zimbabwe cricket, its funding is tight at times. But I think spending time, playing against these nations is important in these sorts of qualifying tournaments. They've done well to come through the African qualifiers to get to here, and they invested in some good preparations. They went out to, they had hosted South Africa and emerging in 11 in the lead up to this, and then they also went over to South Africa and played some of the provinces. So, you know, they are a long way off, but this exposure is important for them.
This is Nayathi on strike. Ektabisht hasn't got a wicket yet. This is match number 17. Well, India already through to the Super 6 stage. Sri Lanka will watch this game very closely. That's well bowled. That's well bowled. There was a bit of dip and also some turn. Ideal ball for the right hander from a left arm spinner. I get the feeling. Look at how far the slip and gully is, and why is gully so deep? I'm sure it can get she can get a bit closer up to that white line or something close to that, because Ektabish is not quick, and this pitch is not bouncing or quickening. It's a kind of a slowish pitch. So gully to me is far too deep. Unless you have a gully for the cut, should have one for the outside edge. That's the one that straightens up after pitching. Quicker one.
It's interesting with these round arm bowlers. In some ways, you want them just to fire it into the stumps and then maybe get a little purchase. For me, Bish just bowled a little bit wide today. That's better. That's what you want, is the Zimbabwean batsmen having to, or batswomen having to play every single ball. 23 for 3 at the end of 15. Well, there's a smile on Mansoda's face, and so there should be at the moment. She's battling away. 18 off 39. And like we said, she scored some runs in a couple of the games, got a nice 35. And a couple of 30s and 20s, so she's the mainstay of the Zimbabwean batting. It would be good to see one of them go on at least and get a 50. None of the batsmen have been able to get that half century in this tournament so far.
So Masunda on strike. Oh, that's the googly. Well played, well played. Slowishness of the pitch and also the length allowing Masunda to quickly adjust. Run it down to third man. Just a little bit short. On the back foot, completely deceived by the googly. What happened was that it was a bit slow and also had time to adjust. This is the 16th over. Punched off the back foot. That's another good shot. That will run away to the boundary. Short and wide. Masunda has been the batter to watch. 29 for 3. Ebony's taken a break. Anjum's back. That's a good shot, Anjum.
That's a brilliant shot. She waited on the ball and waited for it to turn. Had to reach out towards the end of it all, but the placement was spot on between both point and cover fielder. That was a good shot.
So what do you make out of this field? Slip and a very wide gully. And I always feel that the gully is a little bit too deep. But with Yadav bowling, maybe gullies for the cut. But with Ektabish, I don't think they were bowling to a cut. Anyway, gully fieldsman is not for a cut, it's for a catch for the outside edge. Again, the googly, well bowled. She's not getting that real bit of pace off the track. Batsman having time to adjust. I mean, it's pitched slightly short. So they've been reading the googly off the pitch rather than off the hand.
Musunda's role model has been England's Sara Taylor. Sara Taylor is the top order bat and a wicket keeper of the England team. She's taken a break from cricket in the past 6 odd months, but she's one of those outstanding performers and one of those players who's played in the men's second grade professional cricket in Australia. And I'm talking about Sara Taylor from England. Good ball to end the over. 16 gone, 29 for 3.
Zimbabwe hasn't just been good. They have been lucky. Not good enough to touch something.
Just to complete the discussion about Sara Taylor and Musunda, when you role model a player like a player who you follow, you want to imbibe all those qualities. Sara Taylor has been an exceptional batter. She's very good on the offside as well, and she does like to cut and drive the ball with precision. That back foot cut shot would have made even Sara Taylor proud.
This is Nayathi on strike. Ektabish continues. I think the problem for Zimbabwe, with all due respect, is that they haven't just been good enough. Some of the good deliveries have missed the outside edge. For wanting of the batsman's quality, rather than really leaving balls. I know it's a big statement. It could be, say, something detrimental to Zimbabwe, but that's the truth. They haven't really looked good. They have struggled. They've been beaten, and seen a few odd balls that they have put away, but generally have looked very, very uncomfortable at this level.
They are the second best team in Africa. They have looked to become better and better as the time has progressed. A lot of cricket coming in.
Second out of 2 teams.
Number 1 is South Africa.
Yes, the second out of 2 teams. It's like a race.
There are a lot of countries that do play in Africa, but I agree. There's a big difference.
Well, I think there is no lack of talent. I was in Zimbabwe about 3 months ago, and I've seen a lot of talent. But I have nothing else to say. I'm not going to comment on how things are happening in that country. That is a shame. And I get the feeling that cricket seemed to be on the way down. 29 for 3, 17 overs completed. And it's time for some drinks.
It's been a busy morning for the Indian bowlers. Early on, as the match just started, picked up the first wicket. Mansi Joshi, the bowler there, and been very consistent with her line and length. They got a couple of free gifts that they offered to the Zimbabwe batters, which they took very gladly and picked up those boundaries. A couple of streaky shots through the slips. But as soon as the spinners came on, the second wicket as well, the third wicket rather, fell in quick succession.
Well, they don't look very happy there, do they? That's the Zimbabwean bench. Must be obviously very disappointed with how they've progressed. 29 for 3, 17 overs. And today there were possibilities in one of the press releases by ICC. And one of the possibilities was what may happen if Zimbabwe beats India. So I never seen Zimbabwe play. So I was quite excited to see Zimbabwe play. But so far, get the feeling that they have not impressed. They've disappointed me. My expectations were higher.
Yeah, and they don't have much to show to change your opinion right now, Roshan, because they've not done enough, as even they themselves would have liked, losing the first wicket in the first over as well to Mansi Joshi. Shuma out there as well, batted for 33 deliveries for just her 13. Third wicket coming up for Poonam Yadav when Nidraya got out as well without scoring. So it's been more of Nayati and Musonda who have taken it forward for the Zimbabwe batters.
Bowling, I like Joshi. I really like Joshi. She, to me, is the best fast bowler I've seen on display in this entire tournament. Wicket for Yadev. Bisht has been a little bit too negative in her line. I would like to see her bowl more wicket to wicket, look to get some more turn. But to me, Mansi, outstanding prospect as a fast bowler. And I was telling Ebony that she may be good enough to play in a men's first class team. I mean, she's not quick by any means, but the way she bowls, the shape she gets, the control she brings into her bowling. So change of bowling. Rajeshwari Gaikwad coming on, another left arm spinner.
Rajeshwari Gaikwad was pick of the bowlers in the game against Ireland as well. Rather, game against Sri Lanka, because Ireland she missed out.
Straight away some turn for Rajeshwari Gaikwad, who appears to be pushing the ball a little bit quicker. What happened there? Did it bounce badly? That's how it appears. Seem to be in some pain. Just a bit short. Oh, hit the knee, is it? I think it hit the knee.
It hit the knee and it just went on to hit the lip or the chin for Veda Krishnamurthy there. It's an odd bounce. Seems to be in a border, and that's why the physio is running. Shikha Pandey and Trish Kamni.
She's the one who got the 100.
Yeah.
Why is she not playing? Show me the two results. Show me the two results. The ones that are walking off. Quickly. Now, I want to ask you a question here, Anjum. Try and identify these two reserves. Just tell me about those two reserves. I know that Pandey is injured. Who's the other one? Who's the
Shikha
other one?
Pandey is the one who's closer to us, and the other one is Trish Kamini.
Why is she not playing? She got 100 in the last game. Is she rested? Is she tired? I saw you talking to the chairperson of selectors. That would have been my first question. As an ex-captain, you have all the right to find out.
I asked Trish herself.
So what was the answer?
She only nodded her head. She says she's not playing.
That's bad. Why?
No, I think just to be fair, probably not being too intrusive into it, I think they just wanted to give an opportunity to the lower batters to go out there and have a hit, and that's probably one of the reasons why India also wanted to go out there and bat first. And I asked the coach, she said if they had won the toss, they would have opened with Mona Meshram, who played the first game against Sri Lanka, and Devika Vaidya. So that would have been a different batting combination, and I can understand why Mona Meshram, because she didn't get much runs against Sri Lanka, and after that she was dropped from the playing 11. So yeah.
All right. What about Deepti Sharma? Why couldn't she be given a rest? And
Yeah, Deepti Sharma, you're right. She
Yeah.
has been given a rest today.
okay, so she's given a rest, and Tirish Kamini also given a rest. But I thought, one game. Well, sometimes these selections, they can be baffling.
I think selections are always baffling. You can never find the right
And they're
one.
never right. They're never right.
Let me just say that they are
29
never.
for 3.
Let me just say that they never go down well with everyone around the ground.
I know it's a very thankless job, but then I've seen some quite baffling, obvious, selection blunders that sometimes can be very inexplicable, very difficult to justify what they've done. Of course, there are lots of factors you need to consider, combinations, player burnout, lots of things like that. But I would have given Tiruk Shamini another game because she got a good 100, and otherwise it's a break in her, momentum, break in what she's doing, because I believe every game is so important to their careers.
Poonam Yadav just picked up a wicket in her 2 overs. Yeah, I agree where you're coming from, because it's important, and there is every spot up for grabs getting into the World Cup, which is going to be happening later this year in June in England. Everything that the team is trying to go out there and try the various combinations is also trying to pick the best combination that is going to allow them to go out there in England and play at the World Cup.
See, there's one reason why that I can be thankful that Tirush Kamini is not playing. If she becomes the player of the match again, I'll struggle to pronounce her name. I struggled the last time. She had to correct me.
There you go. You found another reason. Attacking field for Poonam Yadav. We can see 4 attacking fielders, and the 4th one is just on the left of that frame.
She bowls the googly so regularly. Why not have a short leg? I mean, because she's mixing it up quite well.
You're a tough man to please, Roshan.
No, just a question. Just a question. Now that looked quite adjacent. Oh, that's given. That's given. That looked adjacent to the stumps. Only question was it hitting the top of the pad? But that looked adjacent. And Nayati is not very tall.
That's going to be the better angle to comment on. Well tossed up delivery, pitching in line, the batter playing across the line, hitting on top of the knee roll. And that's why the umpire had no doubt in raising a finger. The journey back to the pavilion continues. Without scoring, 29 for 4 Zimbabwe.
17 balls. Thank God they're batting first. India would have had a 50 overs, got 300. We had to stay till 5 o'clock. And this is what we would have found out.
Sean Myers, the skipper of the Zimbabwe team. 24 years of age. She's had a couple of starts in this tournament already.
So good batter.
We'll have to wait and watch. I haven't seen her play earlier, but I know that she's a captain, and she's one of those captains who the team really looks up to. Looks to be positive. She spoke really well at the toss, and I was impressed by the mindset of her, which obviously reflects the team as well.
I like where the gully is now, because the gullies come up with the other bowling very slow. You need someone close. But that fieldsman under the, or the fielder under the helmet also can step up, because it's the outside edge that you'll be waiting for and hoping for. Straight away starts off with a googly. Well bowled, well bowled. So 19 overs completed. 29 for 4 Zimbabwe.
Yeah, excellent first up delivery to a new incoming batter. Excellent. Went closer to the stump and bowled the wrong one. Well played too. A lot of batters can get foxed and not get their bat in time. Fortunately for her, it wasn't that pacey. It wasn't like a flipper that went and hit the pad. But having said that, well bowled.
Looking at the Zimbabwean batters, I find that just Masunda looks the kind of a natural player. All the others seem to be kind of made up, artificial, not free-flowing. Seem to be struggling a little bit. But Masunda appears to be the one who drives well, plays the cut well, and generally looks a bit aggressive.
Yeah, she's modelled herself. She is her role model is Sarah Taylor. So I'm not surprised that she likes to attack the cricket ball.
Rajeshwari Gaikwad. Now Gaikwad, I know the name Gaikwad spelled here is very different, but some big names in Indian cricket. Anjum and Gaikwad, I remember. I think he did play in the 70s and 80s, opened with Sunny. Then his father, I think, was, I can't remember his first name, but another very big one. The Amarnaths. Lala Amarnath. Well, no lady cricketer though. But that's another big name in Indian cricket. And one of Surinder Amarnath's sons, Digvijay Amarnath, he did come over here to play some first-class cricket, left-handed bat. So some big Indian names that have been associated with Indian cricket for a long time. So anything like that in the ladies' game? Team names that kind of have been associated for a very long time, maybe from the inception?
That should be at least a couple, if not more. Very rarely has the ball gone outside the 30-yard circle. Soni Yadav does the cleaning up act, not with a very aggressive throw though. In terms of women cricketers, we made history.
No, I'm just talking about family association.
Now making history again.
Okay.
So yeah, probably in a few years' time, or maybe another decade or so. Yeah, we'll have players who would be around international circuit and living up to their.
Well, I'll leave you with a quick question if you're going to think about it and answer. Because 20 overs, 31 for 4. Any Ranga Swamis making it to ladies cricket? I believe that was the first name I remember when it used to come to Indian ladies cricket, Shanta Rangaswamy, who's to be a medium fast bowler and a kind of an all-rounder. I'll let you think about that.
Perfect. Thanks, Roshan. 20 gone, 31 for 4. As David has just walked in, and he'll be having the company of Ebony, Rainford-Brent.
Twenty overs. Need to push the run scoring on a bit here. Leg spinner slapped away into the covers. $31 for 4. Just tap down into the offside. Tossed right up this time, hit in the air and dropped. And not only dropped, it's gone for 4. That's a bad drop, that one. Skipper's got away with one here. Let's run this, tossed right up. Yep, go for it. And now that was a pretty straightforward chance. And not only has that been dropped by Joshi, it's run away for 4. So insult to injury there.
I think it was poor movement in the field, to be honest, from Mansi. She's very athletic, but actually got a bit lazy trying to get around.
Skipper's not happy.
Yeah, I just think that with the way she moves, she should have actually got there earlier, then got into position and taken the catch. She kind of ran alongside the ball, didn't really rotate that body.
Played that off the pitch. I don't know whether she's picking the leg spinners or not. So a big let-off there because Sean Mayers should have gone. A bit another duck. She's getting us. Mansi Joshi getting a slap on the back as she walks off to her new fielding position, but that was a bad drop.
There she is, and you can see the heads down. A young player, and like we say, early in her career. But those are the sort of things that make your captain look to you and think, all right, she can bowl, but she holds on to the key moment. And she's just maybe let herself down there. And I just think it's a slight bit of laziness, just not getting the body around.
It's one of those, I think, perhaps where you think, yes, I can take this going to my left, but as you quite rightly say, a little bit of earlier movement, a little bit of better positioning, and she would have taken that much cleaner. So let's have a look at that drop catch again.
Decent connection, I have to say, from the batsman. Got the hands through it, but it was travelling at a nice catchable height, but there she was just kind of drifting. Should have got the shoulders round.
And there is the 5th wicket. Big shout. No hesitation from umpire Ian Ramage. 35 for 5, and that's the big wicket. There goes Masonda. Oh dear.
Excellent work by the keeper, first of all. Stayed low.
Got a little nick. Good glove work. And there she goes, Marianne Masonda. She's had a good consistent set of scores. She 20 against Ireland, couple of 30s, and now 26 again today. Not sure where Zimbabwe would be without her efforts. But well, that's desperate now. 35 for 5.
Well, it's tough going. Here's the other batter we talked about, Marange, coming in. She's chipped in with some runs as well through a few games. Precious, you're quite keen on her. I think you've seen she's one of the leading players in this team at the moment.
I'm quite keen on her bio, actually. She's getting on a bit. 34, Ebs, nearly as old as yourself.
Easy, what were you saying? What are you saying there? That
she's
brings experience.
She's a veteran.
knowledge.
She's a veteran in this Zimbabwe team. Good experience, which has held her in good stead in this tournament. Bowled very well. Bowled very economically, and she'll be required to score a few runs here. But a dual international. Now go on. Have a guess as to which other sport
You've
she's
already told me.
representing. Oh.
But you can actually see why now.
TV, magic of TV, you didn't have to tell the listeners. Oh, here she goes straight away. Let's have some of that. First delivery. Oh, 6 right over. Oh, I like them more.
How about that? Well, you said she played rugby, or maybe you haven't got round to saying, but
No,
look
I haven't
at
told the
this.
listeners yet.
Tossed up, get rid of it. Let's not mess about. That's my kind of cricketer there. Absolutely love it.
She really thwacked that one, didn't she? Got to put a fielder out there at deep mid-wicket now. I think might have to do away with 1 or 2 of those around the bat. You wouldn't want to be standing at short mid-wicket there, would you? Oh, dear.
There was a little smile on her face as she walked to the crease, and I could see why.
That one's just short of slip. So 41 for 5 should really be 41 for 6. The skipper had a big let off. Let's see a bit of fireworks. Oh, played properly now. A little bit of a yes-no wait there, and that brings the end of the over then. 22 overs gone, 41 for 5. Well, let's have a look at this yes-no wait. So
It wasn't great communication either way around. It was the batsman's call, the striker's call. But I did like the smile that she had as she walked out to the crease. Obviously, we just saw Monsuda go, and who's the lead batsman? There was a little kind of glint, and I thought there was a sort of something going on in the upstairs thinking, and I liked it. Let's just get out, let's have some fun.
Yep. Why not? Did you ever hit the first ball of an innings for 6? Off the back foot, no run there.
I wouldn't say I've ever hit. Have I ever? No, I've never hit a first ball for 6. But I'd say one time I maybe walked out with that similar sort of glint in the old eye.
Oh dear. Well, she got away with one in the last over. She hasn't got away with that, and that is the 6th wicket going down. The skipper's gone. Sean Mayer's soft catch. Again, hitting across the line rather than going through. You're not going to do anything if you hit across the line like that. There's only one way it can go, and that's up in the air and straight forward. Comfortable catch.
Tough for the captain there. Mayers. It's one of those ones where let's be honest, it's going to be tough going, but if they can work on their technique just to hit through, you can see there's power in these players, you know. But it's learning how to get the hands through the ball rather than going across it, which is what we naturally feel like doing. But new batsmen to come in.
Precious.
Palela Gia, Mujaji.
Precious has come out to greet her. Punch of the gloves.
Oh, there might be
Big
a little
smile
smile
on her
there
face.
again. I say, come on, Mujaji. Give India something to remember you guys by.
Don't want to die wondering, do you? Let's have a look at this. But if you see going like that, it's a golf shot, isn't it? There's no way that's going to go anywhere except straight up in the air and a soft dismissal. Got away with it in the last over. Got 4 runs. That bad drop by Joshi at mid-on, but didn't add to the score after that. Didn't punish India for their mistake. Oh, now Mujaji looks as though she means business. Although that was a bit tentative. You were just telling us about the one time you walked to the crease
yes.
with a smile on your face. Well,
It was
sure
actually
you
my debut game. Anjum Chopra was in that. Bold one that just came back a little bit there. Yeah, I came in at number 11. We were getting, we knew there was no hope of winning this game.
I thought you were a batter.
But I had 2 phases of career. Early phase, and then I was out for a few years then came back as an opening batter. Oh,
Got away with that. Running away for a couple of runs. Precious thinking about a third, but she won't get it. Let's have a little look at that age there. Oh, got away with that one, she says. Yeah, showing them what she should have done. Bit of old-fashioned batting going on here. Thought about it.
43 for 6 even, end of 23. Let's just have a quick look at the second last ball.
Tempted, wasn't she? Oh, and a cane across the line. Is he not going? I mean, that can work, of course, but it's not the percentage shot by a long way.
Yeah, I was just saying as well, just that. So I came out. We didn't do very well. It was in the World Series, England, Australia, India, and New Zealand. And yeah, I just remember coming in, batting number 11. You think, look, no one here thinks I'm a batsman. I wanted to show to the captain I could. No one's expecting anything, so I just cleared the front leg. And out of nowhere, when we'd been poking and prodding, I remember hitting this big 6 that cleared the boundary. And it's really sad, but I jumped up and I gave a good old fist pump, like, yeah. No one really cared because we still lost.
Oh, I'd have loved to have
But
seen that.
it did get remembered.
Another swing, another up in the air. That's cleared. 2 bounces and another boundary for Precious. Precious runs these for Zimbabwe.
Morangi's becoming one of my favourite cricketers. Strike rate's up there.
She can bowl as well.
Oh, well, she could be the star of this team, and you can see why.
Big grin on her face.
Bit of a cheeky cricketer there, not fazed by the pressure. Nothing to lose.
Here we go. Gone again. This could be... No, safe again. No, she
Thought
says
about
no.
a second, but no.
I'll have a little rest down at the non-strikers then.
Here we go.
Let's
Let's have a look at that. All tossed up. Just slightly got underneath it, sliced it. Not bad. If she was able to have just got through, it might have been an opportunity to get another boundary.
Been very economical with the ball. 1 for 14 against Thailand, 1 for 23 against Ireland, 0 for 32 against Sri Lanka, bowled a full set of 10, so I look forward to her bowling later on.
Mujaji taking the safe option. I think as well, when if you know that your technique's not necessarily capable of standing up to strong bowlers, keep it simple. When the ball's on the stumps, just look to pad it back. Just like that. And just wait for the width or a chance to free your arms.
I've still got that image of you punching the air after hitting a 6. I like to see a little bit of joy out there in the middle, We're often too serious, aren't we, when we play cricket? It should be about do something like that. Yes, you celebrate a wicket. Why not celebrate a 6?
Well taken. Verma behind the stumps has taken 2 excellent catches today. She's had to wait. That one, she had to rise with the ball. But Gaikwad has done it again. Here we go. Look at this.
Bounced a little bit more, this one, didn't it? Just surprised her. Good take. Yeah, Verma's done well, though. Good hand movement, isn't it?
Yeah, she
Good
rode
glove
with the
movement.
bounce. I think she's very well drilled keeper. You're seeing her stay quite low and then rising with the balls. Some keepers come up too early. She managed to keep the body. But tough for Mujaji. Always going to be difficult, especially as we get through these batsmen. No helmet here.
Well, it's probably called for a helmet if the quicker bowlers come back on. So, in coma, talking about families earlier, there was a senior Zimbabwe partner of Robert Mugabe a few years back, called Joshua Nkomo, showing my great grasp of world affairs then. Ebony? Not sure she's any relation, but an Nkomo.
Well, is Morangi going to keep going here? I think she should. 48 for 7, nothing to lose. Going at nearly 200 strike rate.
She's forced a couple of fielders out onto the boundary as well, which is some little moral success, isn't it? But again, maybe if she's got the shot, let's have a look. Let's have a look on the offside. No fielders on the boundary on the offside. Oh, block.
It'd be interesting to see if, not even having to do too much, but other than maybe standing on a middle and leg guard, that would just open up the exact same shot she can play, but that arc through sort of extra cover around to mid-off.
She's standing outside off at the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Which kind of encourages that shot to the area where she's now got two fielders. Let's just see. There you can see her guard is on middle stump. Toes are on middle stump.
Downtown, 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Didn't quite get that one. And it falling comfortably short there of Sonny Yadav.
See, and those are the small things. I mean, I remember I used to struggle with off-spin bowlers sometimes early in my career. And I used to stand on middle stump, and it was Jack Birkinshaw, who's a former England cricketer and coach, who just said, just move me to bat on either middle and off stump and play the exact same game. And it just freed everything up. So I think for her, who likes to get her hands through it, she just exposed the stump. She's got a good eye. If she's going to look to be aggressive, it just allow her to free the hands through that offside.
You'd like her moving more towards leg stump, would you? Yeah. That was well tossed up. In fact, it was a full toss by the time it got to the batter. What's Nkomo going to do? Oh, not the worst. Oh, she wants to run. Precious is going to have to hurry. Oh, if the throw had gone to the other end, I think Precious might have been in trouble. Morangi very slowly responding there. She's looked up and seen Nkomo charging down the pitch. She had no choice. She had to go. Off the mark. We'll have a little look at that again after this delivery. And that's caught behind. That's the end of Morangi. She rather a tame end to an exciting innings. Another very, very good piece of keeping by Verma. Let's look at this.
Well, this actually went the other way. Look, she's gone wide, and then it goes away. We've been seeing most of those tail back into the left-hander. That's an excellent delivery. Googly there. So showing her variations, but sad to see the back of Morangi. Precious, who had gone at a good strike rate, 133, the only person offering any real look of aggression, but she'll be sad to leave the pitch because she looked like she was set to hit a few more boundaries. I
think a long time after we've forgotten this game, we'll still be remembering her walking out with a smile on her face and slapping the first one way over mid-wicket, which was really a wonderful start. And there's Granger coming out to bat. So Tasmin, she's bowled well in the tournament, but not expected to tear up trees with her batting. 50 for 8 Zimbabwe. Nowhere really to go from this situation. Except home, I suppose. They'll be going home tonight. They have one match. In the air. Oh, dearie me. hopeless run out there. She doesn't even get to face a delivery, does Granger. She seemed a bit wild, didn't she, in that first run she went for. Hits the ball into the covers. Yes! No! Oh dear. Any sort of throw, and the keeper involved in another dismissal, just whipping the bails off. And I think they'd crossed. So there you go. Didn't face the ball. Tasmin Granger on her way back. And the end of this innings is nigh. 50 for 9. And Como not the pick of the... not the best of the runners. So here comes No Matter Mutasa. She's giving the... got a pretty decent bit of timber in her hands there, hasn't she? Do a bit of damage with that if she catches hold of any of this slow bowling. But 50 for 9, and we've just passed the halfway stage of this innings, or in theory, as far as the overs go. I think the end could be nigh. Still 4 close fielders. 5 in it, actually. So there's a silly mid on as well. Just the 4 out. She'll be tempted. Again, back and across, little bit of spin. Bowls again, and that's just pushed quietly into the offside. She's hit that one in the air, wants a run, doesn't get it. Noticing Nkomo less enthusiastic to run for the other strikers' runs.
Yeah, it's been tough work for Zimbabwe girls. Whenever they've looked like getting set and organised, they've lost a wicket.
Another delivery spinning past the edge. Well taken again by Sushma Verma. She's looked very good, hasn't she, behind the stumps today? I like the way that her gloves have moved.
"26 gone, 50 for 9. Yeah, she's gone strength to strength in her wicket-keeping skills. She's been one of the top-ranked wicket-keepers in the domestic cricket. She's been around the Indian team for almost 3 years now. So she's been through the test matches, ODIs, T20s. Plays for Himachal. Or let me say used to play for Himachal, because now she plays for the Railways.
A drive there by Nkomo. Didn't want to run this time.
Himachal possesses a very nice cricket academy, which allows players to stay in and train and focus on their cricket, and also allows a cricketer or a player to get admission in one of the schools. So she's a product of that academy. Excellent catch taken there.
I think she's dropped it.
Has she? Oh, just got covered with the bowler. But the first movement that one got to see from Mona Meshram there, felt that she had taken that.
Didn't quite have it, did she? It would have been a cracking catch. She's got a hand to it, and down it's gone. Got that one through. Nice stroke. That's away to the boundary. Just going to get there. So,
how bad is it for any bowler when you bowl a ball which should have got you a wicket. And just look at that reaction from Poonam Yadav. The moment she realized that the catch has gone down, oops! She went straight hands to the forehead. And she would have done that again because the next ball went to the boundary.
Okay.
54 for 9. Well bowled. It's been very easy this morning for India. 54 for 9. I think we can now say that with some confidence that the 3 teams to qualify from Group A will be India as winners, Sri Lanka as runners-up, and Ireland as the 3rd team. That's hit in the air. That should have been all over, but a very soft drop there, this time by Sonny Yadav at mid-on. That one's soft catch, and out it comes again.
Otherwise, been a very safe fielder, Soni Yadav. But at this point of time, I thought she made a mess of a very, very simple opportunity coming away.
Little tickle around the corner. That's going to be one more. She might want to come back for 2. She's coming. Oh, you wouldn't want to be running with Nkomo, would you? She's very excitable.
You don't want those lapses coming into the field, even if you're playing an opposition which is slightly weaker than yourself. Just gets into your bad habits.
Shy at the stumps, had that hit. I think that could have been the end. Yes, the fielding is definitely something that India need to work on. We were discussing this during the South Africa-Bangladesh match, that the South African fielding just gives them an advantage. Quality fielding side, South Africa, and you feel, you know, they're 20 runs ahead of any other team in this qualifying tournament, at least before they've started. And going to be at least one more run there. I'm pretty sure Nkomo will want to come back for 2, and indeed she does, and does comfortably enough. So
This is good running from the Zimbabwe girls. 28 gone, 59 for 9. The reason why I say good running is because 3 balls earlier, when the ball had gone in the short fine leg region, the wicketkeeper had to run around and pick up the ball and throw it back. They just took a single. The previous ball again was in the same direction, and this time they realized an opportunity of picking up 2 runs. So that's good awareness, and that's quick learning.
running the first one quickly. Poonam Yadav. With the ball in her hand, she'll fancy picking up a 5th wicket.
She's bowled well. She's bowled really well today. Much better than the last time that we saw her in operation. She's used the variations well. She's been not shy of tossing the ball up.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. What a cracking delivery that is. Mutasa having a look around and thinking, oh dear, too good for me. But again, they're pushing, not pushing straight, just pushing across the line there. And Como's gone down and given her some advice, saying just block it and run, probably. In the air, just short of mid-on, hit the stumps, that would have gone. Double chance there for India. Well, not the first one wasn't a chance because it didn't reach mid-on, but then the shy at the stumps. That was. There we go again. This delivery allowed through outside the off stump. That's the end of the innings. Pitched up on leg stump, turning a fifth wicket, 5 for 19. It was and Como's bowled 5 for 19. Getting congratulations there. Well bowled to Poonam Yadav. She's bowled beautifully. Dale getting a hug there. That's nice. Getting a little hug. Here we go. That's a very good leg spinner actually.
I like the trajectory that changed. I like the length that changed as well for her. Just dropping in good enough. Trying to drive was Como and missing the line of the stump. The ball hitting the target. Good aggressive bowling and good control for Poonam Yadav.
So the end of Nkomo's lively little innings. She wanted to run for everything early on, much to the dismay of her partners. And Mutasa not out 3. So job done for India. 28 overs and 5 balls, 60 all out, and really not a great deal of fight there from Zimbabwe, but that's bad news for them. Good news for India and Ireland.
Yeah, Poonam Yadav, who's just walking out of the ground right now. She went back in because she wanted to take the cricket ball from the umpires. She picked up 5 wickets, and Harmanpreet Kaur there alongside, making sure that that's a prized possession for Poonam Yadav. It all started in the first over itself with Mansi Joshi picking up her first wicket and starting the onslaught that the Indian bowlers would have wanted to much earlier on. Soni Yadav was taken to the boundary a couple of times, but she picked up another wicket as well.
That one just found the gap between the gullies. Always had attacking fields, India.
And then Poonam Yadav came in and immediately picked up her first wicket, which was the third for the Zimbabweans. Couple of loose deliveries, opportunities for the Zimbabwe girls to get there and have some scoring opportunities. But was always a writing on the ball. Poonam Yadav changing her line again, picking up her second wicket. This was a drop chance. The first one from Mansi Joshi. Indians dropped a few catches, but then Rajeshwari Gaikwad came in, picked up her first wicket again, and then the second. It was a...
That was the shot of the morning, wasn't it? Soft dismissal there, though. She got away with one in the previous over, but didn't add to her score. Skipper gone for 4. Good keeping, we've seen that this morning, taking a few little nicks off the spinners. There's another one. That was good hands. Awful run out here. Both the batters at the non-strikers end. That would have been a good catch. That would have been a good catch. Punished with the boundary next ball. Another soft drop.
Yeah, that was the third one. And bowlers were not happy.
Finally all over. That was well bowled. Nice bit of flight and turn. So that's it, all out for 60. We're going to resume at 12 o'clock. There's the card. Really just Marianne Masonda. And a lively little one from Precious Marange, who came in and struck her first. But she came in with a smile on her face. And she smashed her first ball over mid-wicket for 6. And that was, without doubt, the highlight of the morning. Well done to Masonda. She's said she got 20 against Ireland. She got a couple of 30s against Thailand and Sri Lanka. And there's the bowlers.
Mansi Joshi, I thought, started off well and picked up 1 wicket, that is in the first over itself. But look at that Poonam Yadav, 7.5 overs, 2 maidens, 19 runs and 5 wickets. That was the pick of the bowlers for me. Of course, Rajeshwari Gaikwad also bowled really well, picking up her 2 wickets at the 6 overs. But the combination of the opening bowlers was spot on, which created all the trouble for Zimbabwe and broke their back early on. The target for India, 61 runs in 50 overs at an average of 1.22. We take a short 3-minute break and be right back.
But why? Wouldn't you want to forget? I need, you have to now
In Ramesh, I believe it's from Scotland. Kathy Cross is from New Zealand. Standing in with the Sri Lankan umpire, 4th umpire Deepal De Silva, who is a policeman incidentally, and has played first class cricket in Sri Lankan domestic scene. Well, we're kind of hoping that India will go after the target rather than a laboured approach. 61 runs is all they got to defend. That's not much to write home about. I wonder sometimes what can a captain say when you're so down out 60 runs and there's nothing. Only thing I can kind of recall is let's go out and give it our best shot and make it as difficult as possible. That could be the only thing she could say.
I think you're right. She's got to go out there and tell them to have fun. The one person we did see come out on the Zimbabwe side was Marangi, who she came out with a bit of a smile and she hit a 6 down the ground and then another one straight back over the head for the 4. And that just says to me, you know, there's a bit of energy and excitement in this team. So if I was the captain, I'd be just leaning in saying, look, come on girls, let's do ourselves proud. There they go. This is a big exposure for them. I don't know how many times they would get to be streamed around the world as well, but India coming out here now, you'd expect that they will look to do the damage pretty quickly. They don't want to be messing around, they want to be in the pool this afternoon. So just looking at who might be coming out here, it looks like they've got Krishnamurthy coming out, so she's been promoted up the order. Veda is very dynamic batsman, and so she'll be getting on with it, and also Meshram. So they've made promotions up the order. Maybe Meshram to get a bit more time at the crease. But good to see that India are being flexible, not just batting the same old order, but being dynamic. There's a Zimbabwe bowler, Mutasa. She's the main bowler here. She's picked up a 4 for 28 as well during this tournament, so she knows how to take wickets. What their attack has, which is maybe not ideal, is a lot of seam bowlers. There's a couple of spinners in there, but there's a lot of seam, but she stands out as one of the key ones here. So let's see if she can find a way to get some sort of early breakthrough. Just looking at the field here, they've got one slip. They've got a third and fine leg, so she'll be expected to hit that top of off stump, and sort of classic opening field here. Not very attacking, they haven't got much opportunity here with that low total.
No matter Mutasa, is that the right way of pronouncing that name? I think this is Krishnamurti on strike. Straight away forced off the back foot behind point. That will race away to the boundary. Good start for India. That's Krishnamurti. Short and wide. Was up on her toes. She's a bit pacey, I think. Got a bit of bounce, but used the pace, used the width. What a start for India. 4 of the first ball.
Yeah, no, it's not an ugly shot or anything. It was just letting the ball come to her, using the pace, like you say. Mutasa's got a little bit about her there, but once it was that wide, only one slip in play, it was able to allow her to free her arms down to that third man region.
No matter Mutasa, Veda Krishnamurti is the batsman on strike. Or a batter on strike. She looks very solid. I remember India had a wicket keeper long years ago in the 70s. I was very young and you weren't born.
No, I wasn't.
He was Krishnamurti too. I don't know whether he played many test matches. Supposedly a brilliant wicket keeper. But those are the days where you would have a wicket keeper only for keeping and not for batting or anything like that. The game has evolved so much today. Short. That should be 4. Asking to be hit. Just stood up. And Krishnamurti was on top of it. Another boundary.
Just too short here. Well played though. She saw it early. I think that was the key. Was just able to swivel. It wasn't sort of getting back into position. Just saw it. Helped it around the corner. No one really out there protecting. So easy pickings there for Krishnamurti. And so it should be. She's, if you've been given license, there's only 60 to chase. At this rate at the moment, they'll get it knocked off in no time. But they want to dominate here, India. India don't want to just finish top of the group. They want to show that they, against the small teams, they really outclass them, and that's what they're doing at the moment.
Slips out. Square leg, mid-wicket, mid-on, long leg. Muthasa's gone for 8 already in this over. 3 balls bowled. Beautiful, beautiful. That's another boundary. Great start. I like that drive. She had everything behind it. Perfect drive, perfect off drive. Take a look at this. Look at that beautiful stride. Not the follow through, but more of a punch rather than the free flow of a follow through.
That's classy batting. One thing the Indians have got is just very good technique. They're drilled from a young age, really to let the ball come on, hit through the line, very good shapes. Krishnamurti here as well. What I like about it, she's not trying to go out and blaze it. She's just picking each ball. She knows there's going to be bad balls coming. There's plenty of gaps in the field, and that was able to be eased nicely through the covers.
2 balls to go in the over. This time straight to the fielder. They'll get a single though. That's a poor return. So 5 balls, 13 runs. Krishnamurti's got all 13 runs of 5 balls. Meshram is the new batsman. Last ball of the over. India needs less than a run per over. 48 or 49. Mona Meshram just marking her guard. It's a spread out field. Last ball of the over. India needing 61, a 13 without loss. Dot ball to end the over. 13 without loss.
This is a big opportunity here for Mona Meshram. She's not played many games, only played 9 ODIs. Got a chance to play against that game against Sri Lanka recently and only picked up a 6 as well. So I feel that this is an example of India trying to give everybody a little run out before the Super 6 stage. You want to make sure your batsmen are firing, and the last thing you want is any sort of collapse against one of the better teams and your batsmen haven't had that time. So, well, here we go, Marange, the one who we saw very excitable, smile on the face, looks like she's enjoying herself, Precious, and hit a few big shots down the ground. So plenty of seam options for Zimbabwe. Let's see if she'll be able to get that breakthrough. No third, they've just got their 2 fielders out, deep square and Cow. Let's just have a look. Is she going to bowl a little tweak here? This is Precious Marange.
I like that name. I like some Zimbabweans have some beautiful names. Precious is a very nice name, I should say. Then there used to be Prosper Utsea. Prosper, that's another nice name. So meaningful. That's the field. That's the leg side field. 2 men out on the leg side boundary. Precious it is. Quick single to Krishnamurthy. Just tossed up, driven through extra cover. 14 without loss. This is the second over. India going at just over 7 runs and over.
So we look to probe that off stump line. Plenty of protection on that leg side for the spinner. Chance for the batsman to go straight down the field.
Mesham's off the mark. Tossed up on the leg stump. No real turn from the leg spinner. Marange. Precious Marange. And an easy single down towards deep mid wicket. So Zimbabwe already on the defensive, nobody catching. I would have thought they'll try to get some wickets, maybe put India on the back foot. Down the wicket she comes. Just overran the ball to a point. Would have liked to have taken it almost on the half volley or on a length and hit it through the line, but instead she got too close to it. 2 balls to go in the over. Krishnamurthy seems to be the player who can finish things off quickly.
I think she'll still use to look at, there's not much turn. The pace is nice enough to hit over the top. So she gets to the ball but still allows herself room to let those arms go through over the top.
Yes is the call, and 1 run they will have. So that's a much better over. 3 runs off it. 16 without loss, 2 overs gone, which means they need another 45 runs to get India.
More importantly as well, Krishnamurthy's on strike. I wonder if she was thinking about that towards the end of that. She's going nicely here, 15 off 10, and has had a few nice deliveries offered up in that first over. But Zimbabwe, they're going to make a change to the bowling. Maybe the seam was just a bit too juicy, I suppose, and put up there in the region. So we're going to have that change. Lots of sunscreen on there, and that's Nkomo. We'll look to come and see if she can have an impact. I think the key here is going to be just bowling stump to stump. Any width the Indians have been punishing so far. So Nkomo to try and have at least some sort of breakthrough.
Josephine Nkomo, that's the name. Clipped over mid wicket. That should run down to the boundary. Krishnamurthy enjoying herself. That ball just sliding down the leg side from Nkomo.
Quality shot. Quality shot, just flicked her wrists there. Saw the gap. Easy to play.
So 20 without loss. This is the 3rd over. Krishnamurthy has raced along to 19. India seem to be really meaning business. Just wanting to ensure that they dominate, as you say, just impose themselves, make a strong statement, and also showing that they're ruthless. They're not particularly considerate about the opposition. They're not at all willing to give any opportunity, but they're quite willing to just destroy them. No sympathy.
I like to see teams like that, and I think India should. First of all, they should have already qualified for this World Cup, and there might be a little bit of anger within themselves that they haven't made that jump. So they really need to show why they, without doubt, are one of the better teams here. They also need to be in good form going ahead, because now the games get tougher. You know, it's quite likely they will qualify for the World Cup, but I think there's going to be a bum fight between them and South Africa. But good to see a few little changes here. Zimbabwe trying to just plug that gap.
Driven, not fielded cleanly. Might get a couple here. In fact, bowler is the call, just a single. So, good intent shown by India. Meshram, of course, we haven't seen her play too many shots. She's faced 3 balls, but Krishnamurthy has been the batter. She's been the one who's taken on the Zimbabwean bowling. Wide gully still. It's just going down the leg side. Angle down the leg side, an easy single. So that's where she shouldn't be bowling. She needs to be bowling more off stump line.
A lot of seam in this lineup as well for Zimbabwe, but not any express pace. We saw from the South Africans, Ishmael and Cap had a bit more about them.
That's a bit sharp, that rush through.
Good energy through the crease. Let's just have a look here. Quite an open front arm. We'll maybe have another look at her action at some point.
So last ball of the over. Meshram very, very solid. It is the end of the over. We can take a look at that last, the ball we were talking about 2 balls ago. The one that really rushed through. You said good energy. Just
good energy, open front arms, a very open action, chest on. I feel that if she was able to bring that a little bit tighter, she might drive through the line, but solid action, puts a lot of energy into it. You can hear that grunt as well as she delivers the ball. So I think Zimbabwe will be pleased. She looks like someone who could just probe that off stump line outside the off line. And let's just see here now, pressures to continue. See if she can get any turn. We haven't seen much yet.
What does she pull?
Off spin, but it's more tweakers, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ones that carry straight on.
Down the wicket, over the top. Will go down to the boundary. That's a very fine shot again by Krishnamurthy. Just meaning business. Good use of the feet. Slightly sliced with an open face, but getting enough on it. So another boundary. 27 without loss. India setting about getting this target in quick time. Well played, very well played. Soft hands, and that's a teaser. You'll get a boundary. These are the really tough ones where you always feel you're in with a chance.
Yeah, just looking at that, a nice guide down there. The tough thing here for pressure is once you've got 2 deep fielders on the leg side, you need to keep the ball as straight as possible. There are 2 balls with a little bit of width, and India have capitalised. One over extra cover, and then waiting for that one and just guiding it down. Well, this is solid here. I feel for Meshram that she will want to get as much strike as possible. She's not going to. Krishnamurthy looks in great form. Look at that, nearly 2 runs a ball, nearly a 200 strike rate.
This time might be taken at mid-off. It is. Krishnamurthy completely miscuing it, and the wicket taken by Precious. Zimbabwe have got a wicket. Again, as you said, really no turn, no spin. And good catch running back by Mutasa. So the first wicket, Krishnamurthy, the aggressive batter, goes. 31 for 1. She's out for 29 of 16. Mutasa, the catcher. Marange, the wicket taker, and this is the 4th over.
Well, a nice positive start from Krishnamurthy. She came out to do her job, really, to get things going, and she showed her captain what she's all about. Is Harmanpreet Kaur now to come out, who's another aggressive batsman who hasn't actually gone as well as she would like to through this tournament. Maybe the pitches haven't suited her. She's just come from Australia. She was playing out in the Big Bash, pitches which would have come on. So she's just struggled. But I'm sure she'll want to get in form, especially to get into that Super 6 stage. And let's just have a look at the reason why she's here. Here we go. Just look at this shot here from Krishnamurthy. Just lost her balance. I think she was trying to hit it too hard. When she was caressing the ball, it seemed to go, but there, just sliced it, and a solid catch.
Was she trying to go over mid-on? I thought she was trying to play across the line rather than hit it with a straight bat. Anyway, Mashram is on strike. 2 of 5. Harmanpreet is at the non-strikers end because the batters crossed. Marange wants a single with Harmanpreet on strike. Things could slow down a little bit, but I'll be interested to see how to say, with Meshram on strike. Harmanpreet is more of a aggressive play. I like to see how she sits about. Meshram's taken a time, 2 of 6. Oh, poor delivery. Come on. That's gone for 4. That's a gentle delivery on the leg stump. And you wouldn't expect even a player of Maranga's mood, or shall we say, Meshram's mood, to miss out on a thing like that.
A real gift, isn't it? Down the leg side. Especially when you haven't quite got your momentum, actually. That's what she'll need to get things ticking for her. But pretty straightforward there. Just helping it along its way. But a good connection.
Last ball of the over. This is over number 4. Meshram quite willing to play it back up the pitch. So wicket taking over for Zimbabwe. 35 for 1, 4 overs completed. India need just another 26 runs, and they got loads of times before lunch. It's just 15 minutes past 12. I believe the break is at 1:30. So 26 runs. That's a lot of time.
Well, it's nice to see this positivity. So it should be really. India, they're looking to be well drilled now. They're starting to get into their flow.
By the way, have you played with Shashikala Sirivardhan, the Sri Lankan all-rounder? You haven't played?
No, I haven't.
Today it's her birthday.
Okay.
Lovely girl. We wish her a very happy birthday. Sri Lanka women's leading run scorer in ODIs. She's got 1,613 with the highest of 68 versus South Africa. Shashikala Sirivardhan. Lovely girl. So Harmanpreet on strike.
Well, nice action again here. Very solid. Here we go. Look at this. Nice, rhythmic. Could possibly run it a little bit harder, but the arms are pumping in the right direction. Very athletic. Chest open, both feet facing down. And just gets through very nicely. Solid action.
Oh, that's through. That's through. Timing perfect. I think the fielder at short extra cover. Marange got a bad bounce, but the timing, the drive, so stylish. Take a look at this for Harmanpreet.
Well, that's core for you. Just a little shuffle there, just to open up that angle of the gap. You're right. The fielder wasn't able to get in position, dived over it. But Harmanpreet not trying to overhit it here, just letting it come. Like we say, she's looking for runs in this tournament. And that's how she plays, very classy.
4 of 2. Harmanpreet. Bit of bounce. So it's Harmanpreet, not Harmanpreet.
Well, I'm not India, but I've always said Harmanpreet.
It's H-A-R.
But I could be right. It's definitely spelled H-A-R.
So Colombo gone for 11 runs so far. This is a second over. Look at India's current rate, 8.67. They're in a hurry.
They've got somewhere to go. There's lots to see in Colombo.
Come on, Harmanpreet. Flick it over mid-wicket for 4.
I think, like I said earlier, she's not. For someone who's in good form and was over in Australia in the Big Bash, scoring runs for Sydney Thunder, she's come here and actually looked a bit scratchy. I think it's the difference in the pace of the wicket, and maybe she's just, rather than trying to get another wicket gone, she's trying to find a way to stay there. But I have a feeling if she gets one in the slot.
She's finding the fielders. I'm disappointed. She should be picking the gaps.
Yeah, she should, and she'll be feeling that as well, the pressure. It's not, you know what it must be like as a, when you lose form or you haven't quite clicked, and one half of you says, I'm timing it nicely, but then the other half, you can't find the way to create runs.
I can tell you that I haven't played for the country, so I wouldn't know exactly what the international batters would feel. But at the level I played, when you go out there and you're out of form, to me, I felt that the boundary was 100 miles away until I found the middle of the bat. It was so difficult. And it was only after you start timing the ball that you feel that the ropes are much closer. Otherwise, you feel that it's so far away, and how do you reach it? That's one of the questions that come into you.
That's the thing about cricket, 39 for 1 at the end of 5 is that, I remember years where you felt like you're hitting it well in the nets and you're timing it and you come out and you're scratching around, you can't find a way to get through the boundary. But sometimes you get a bit of luck, maybe edge a couple, and then all of a sudden everything comes together. And something about batting, that's why when you are in form, I always say cash in as much as possible. Daddy hundreds, and that's not just hundreds, get hundreds and 50s, go big, because when you lose your form, it takes so long to get it back.
Yep, no doubt. Form is funny, isn't it? Maranga continues. This is Meshram on strike. So the target is 61, which means 22 runs more. Meshram has made 6. Maranga continues, the only wicket taker. Tends to bowl it much, much slower. Tends to take her time with the delivery, doesn't rush through. This is the 6th over. Steered, not fielded well. Loves the batsman to get a single. So 40 for 1. I like the way the Indians have set about. They've been looking to impose themselves. They've played some delightful shots. Krishnamurthy unfortunate. I like that very spicy drive by Harmanpreet as soon as he came in.
Unfortunate. What was unfortunate about that, Roshan?
No. I said Krishnamurthy was unfortunate.
I agree. What was unfortunate about that?
Well, just a little bit rash. She was in a hurry. I thought she should have taken her time.
I agree. So that's not unfortunate. That's a bad shot selection. She was given an opportunity right up the top of the order when both the openers were not playing.
I'm not surprised you were captain.
Now you know how easy I was on my players.
When you captain India?
Always.
Really?
Always.
Very difficult to satisfy, is it? A tough taskmaster.
Well, if any batter goes back to the pavilion and saying given an opportunity and you throw your wicket, I can understand you got out to a peach of a delivery or you got out playing a brilliant shot. And you got out playing a shot which was meant to get to the boundary, and you get out, come back to the pavilion losing your wicket. Throwing away an opportunity, throwing away a 40 not out or a 50 not out possibly as well. So I think that's not unfortunate. That's just a bad batting and casual approach.
I agree.
I heard Ebony say that never lose your form, because Mona Meshram knows exactly that she's hit a boundary, and it was difficult for her in the first game against Sri Lanka to make bat and ball meet.
Nicely forced off the back foot. Maranga bowling short and wide. Zimbabwe have looked very ordinary, haven't they? I mean, it's a sad story. It could be a reflection of what's going on back home, because Zimbabwe men are struggling. There's no lack of talent there. There's enough talent. Young kids are so keen. But it's just that I sometimes wonder whether they got enough resources, external resources, to try and support these kids. And even here, 6 overs, 45, going at exactly 9 runs, or not 9, a little bit less than 9, 8 point something. Meshram and Harmanpreet. So the requirement now just 16 runs. Just hurrying on to her a little bit. Stayed down.
Short, wide, punished. Harmanpreet Kaur getting on top of that bounce and making it sure that the ball reaches the boundary. She was helped by the practice wickets on the side as well, but there was no opportunity for the cover point fielder to make a stop. One of the attacking batters in world cricket, Harmanpreet Kaur, vice captain of this Indian team, captain of the Indian T20 team as well. Has had a few tough games coming after the big bash as well, but that's for any batter as well. So this outing out there in the centre, making sure that the ball meets the centre of the bat, will really help her build that confidence before the Indian team gets into the Super Sixes of this competition. Quick single. The fielder was just holding back on her heels there.
Just too easy at the moment, isn't it? Zimbabwe would have gone out there knowing they couldn't win, but thinking, well, let's try and achieve a little something here. Maybe make India fight for 15 overs. They've taken the wicket, so it's more success there. But it's been... are we allowed to say women against girls tonight? To adopt the old saying, men against boys?
Yeah, men against boys does look nice, or to at least sounds nice, but women against girls, I want to know which are the women, which are the girls. I won't take a side on that. But I get your meaning, yes, for sure. Zimbabwe will have a lot of learning from this game. They've never played India before, so a lot of their players will be getting acclimatized to Indian style of play.
Couple of minor successes there. Couple of dot balls towards the end. Just 10 runs needed to win then. They're going to finish this off well before lunch. We thought today's match would be one-sided. I'm not sure I thought it would be this one-sided, but Zimbabwe bowled out in 28.5 overs. Yeah. India taking what, maybe 8 or 9 to finish it off. Morangi bowling a bit of spin, and she's bowled tidily enough. In this tournament, she's been very economical, but nothing to work with here today, of course. Just little successes, a maiden over or something like that. It would be just, hey, well bowled, you know.
Yeah, that will definitely do well. See, it's all about taking a lot of confidence from this competition, from this match, especially for the Zimbabwe girls. As I said, they've never played India before, so they've never been introduced to how they attack, when they attack, how much control do they have over their shots. They've played a lot of their cricket in Africa and also at times against England as well, but this will really hold the entire team in good stead.
So are we going to see a maiden here? Or Morangi. 4 dot balls. Mashram cuts away and makes no contact there. Marangi's taken the wicket, thinking might have got another one there, but there wasn't a little tickle through to the keeper. Finish it off, Precious. And she does. Well bowled. It's a maiden over. The 8th of the innings. So a little minor success. She's always got a smile on her face. Precious Marangi. Bowled a bit of medium pace earlier. In her career, but having success there with the medium pace. Bowled some very tidy spells in this tournament. She's been the most economical, arguably I don't know whether there's even an argument. Arguably the best player in this Zimbabwe side, along with Marianne Musunga. And they just seem to be settling into a little bit of a rhythm here, don't they? I think that's the 9th consecutive dot ball we've seen. So no hurry, of course, for India. A little bit of movement into the bat there. I think that'll probably be a leg by. Oh, shocking throw. No signal from the umpire. Maybe just a little bit of bat involved there. We're still waiting. No. Thickish inside edge.
The Zimbabwe quicks,
Oh.
or rather the Zimbabwe bowlers, have been pretty much on target, David. You haven't seen a lot of wayward bowling, wides down the leg side in terms of bowling, trying to bowl quick. So they've been pretty impressive.
And that one slipped down the leg side.
just what we
eased away
said.
down to fine leg for 4. Commentator's curse, Anjum. Commentator's curse. Just let it slip a little bit, and as long as there was any bat on that, it was always beating the fielder inside the circle. Practicing a shot square of the wicket. Mushroom. One shot will win it now. Very surprised if we do see a 6 to win, but 5 runs required. We're only in the 9th over. We're not even going to get out of the power play. That's short, that's cut away, and that brings the scores level to backward point. Poor delivery that from Nkomo. And smacked away backward a square. The scores are level. So the 1 run to win. The umpire Ian Ramage there just signalling.
The captain is just asking all her fielders to come inside the circle. 1 required for the Indian win.
That's pretty futile gestures. One to win off 41.2 overs. Oh, let's spin the field in. Only need to bowl 248 dot balls. Get the tie. Well bowled. But again, little victories, isn't it, Neil? Let's see if we can take it into the 10th over. Got to try and set yourself targets all the time, even if you are being outclassed as clearly they have been today. Pitched up, gone for the single. If this doesn't hit, oh my word, that very nearly was a run out. They've got the single they needed. And that's the victory, exactly 9 overs then, 61 for 1. India win by 9 wickets. Well, I'm not sure what the umpires are doing. I think that's the game umpires. Indeed it is. Ian Ramage wants his lunch. Pulled the stumps out there at the far end. Lots of handshaking going on there. We'll see you again sometime, I'm sure. The Indian players are going to Zimbabwe, and I'm sure by the next time they meet, the gap between the two sides will have closed. The teams still developing in the women's game, still gaps in class to be made up, and we've seen it very much in this last week or so. India 2 comfortable victories over Thailand and Zimbabwe. Comfortable enough win, although it took a lot longer against Ireland. They also beat Sri Lanka. Perfect record for India, 4 wins out of 4. We'll now see the players making their way onto the field for the handshaking.
Happy dressing room there. Happy because they managed to get the opposition, that is Zimbabwe, under 100, or let's say as less as possible. They won't be happy because they missed a couple of, or rather more than that, opportunities in catching fielding lapses. But overall, that was definitely a much better and an improved performance from the bowling department.
Very efficient day at the office for the Indian women. They got the job done.
And Veda Krishnamurthy there in the centre, I think will be a little just a little unhappy in losing her wicket, given an opportunity to open the innings today in the absence of Tiresh Kamini and Deepti Sharma. Nevertheless, a very clinical performance. India win by 9 wickets and top the Group A in this ICC Women's World Cup qualifiers.
Few cracking shots in that innings, weren't there? See the highlights now. That was the first ball of the innings. Played away past third man. That also was in the first over. And a third boundary made it 12 for no wicket after just 4 deliveries. Zimbabwe swapped their bowlers around, tried a few different combinations, but whatever they tried, India was scoring the runs. 1 success. There's another boundary. Just the 1 success in the innings, which be a little bit disappointed to have holed out there to mid-off. Matassa taking the catch. Didn't really stop the flow of runs, maybe just slowed it a little.
Yeah, Harmanpreet Kaur came in and went through a beautiful cover drive, and Mona Meshram getting on top of the ball to get this cut stroke going. It was always writing on the wall that the Indian team would be finishing it in style. They managed to do that without losing any more wickets, with both Mona Meshram and Harmanpreet Kaur remaining not out. Few handshakes and a lot of experience for the Zimbabwe players. Veda Krishnamurthy, the lone player to lose out, got for 29, aggressive 29. Mona Meshram remaining not out on 21, and Harmanpreet Kaur not out on 11.
It's an impressive strike rate, isn't it? 29 off 16 balls.
Not many bowlers got a chance to look in, just 11 just 9 of them required, but Morangi picking up her wicket of the game, and it was easy for the Indian team to complete 61, the target which was set in the 28.5 overs that the Zimbabweans finished off the game, and Indians completing it in a clinical manner.
We'll go to a little break here, and please join us again for the presentation. Roshan has hurried down there, put his jacket on, combed his hair, looking very smart. He'll be back with you shortly.
A short break came back shorter because we are ready for the presentation with Roshan.
Welcome back, at least I should say welcome to the post-match presentation. India versus Zimbabwe. India winning quite comprehensively and continuing their unbeaten record and just showing everybody how good they are. And we're almost ready to talk to the two captains. Can I first invite the Zimbabwean captain, Sean Mayers, to have a quick word with us? I believe I pronounced your name correctly. Is that true?
Yes, yeah, no, my name's Sean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Talk us through this tournament and particularly today. Disappointed with the way you performed?
Yes, I'm very disappointed in the way we performed today. You know, we could have gone out there a little bit more sensibly with the bat, put a little bit more runs on the board, you know, made this game really interesting. With the tournament, you know, it's been an honour being here. It's been fantastic. We've had a chance to play some really good cricket. Also, it's been great to play against, you know, some of the best in the world. You know, the Indians, you know, they've got a very strong side. I mean, Talia and her team, and they've had a really good tournament, and I wish them all the best going forward.
Yeah, just talk about your standards. Where do you think you got to improve and how do you do it back home?
One thing that has been difficult, we haven't played the 50 over game in a very, very long time, a few years actually. So just playing more 50 over game, having more games out there in the middle would definitely help us, especially in our game awareness and everything. Our batting, especially first up, you know, playing T20, you know, you want to go out there guns blazing, but the 50 over game you've got to be a little bit more patient, especially when you're facing the new ball and going into the innings towards the end.
So how tough is it going to be for you to get to the next round now?
Well, we know that we don't have enough points to go into the next round, so this will be our last game in this tournament. But you know, all the best to the Indian girls. You know, they're a good side, a great side, and you know, it'll be fantastic. You know, following them through the rest of the tournament.
Bad luck today, and it was really a pleasure having you in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, great. Thank you. It's been have had a great time here in Colombo. Thanks.
Well, that's the Zimbabwean captain, ladies and gentlemen. Can I now invite the Indian captain? Well, I have nothing to ask you, Natali. You're so good. Your side seem to be dominating every team you play.
I think yes, India is one of the best sides in the world, and we've been playing a lot of matches in the recent past with the ICC Championship. Getting to play good sides like Australia, England, it has helped a lot of players to gain experience and confidence.
What about today's game? Were you planning to bat first as well?
Well, we wanted most of our batters to get a chance in the middle because we wanted to prepare for the Super Sixes. But considering that Zimbabwe is the first timers in this tournament, they are playing the 50 overs the first time, I as a captain would have wanted to field first. It's just fortunate that I lost the toss.
Quick question. Are you part of the selection panel? I'm asking you this question because we had a centurion in the last game. She's not playing today.
Well, yes, we've given both of them rest because we wanted to give the others a chance to get an outing in the middle, because we want, by the time we get into Super 6 where we get Pakistan and South Africa to play better quality of bowlers and fielders, we would want all the batters to get a good feel.
All right, well done today. All the best for the Super 6.
Thank you.
That's the winning captain from India, Natali Raj, who's been awesome. That Indian side is absolutely good. And now we've got the Player of the Match award. It will be given away by Mr. Udaya Yatavara, the General Manager of Tamil Union Cricket and Athletic Club. And the winner today is Poonam Yadav. Well, what an outstanding spell she's had. We're going to talk to you, Poonam. Natali, if you could also come and help us out. First and foremost, happy with the award?
Yeah, I am happy with this performance and I like to continue my performance.
Talk about playing in this Indian side. It's a great Indian side. So, are you kind of under pressure or enjoying?
Yeah, because we are bowling Mithali Raj and Harmanpreet Kaur. So, we are very happy to bowling these Mitodi and Harmanpreet Kaur. Then we are very confident to bowling other batsmen also.
All right, all the best. Congratulations and best of luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
That's the man of the match, ladies and gentlemen. And that concludes the presentation from here.
Just a reminder as to what happened today. Early on, Zimbabwe won the toss and batted first. Sonda with 26, Moranje with 12, Como with 8. But a clinical bowling performance from Poonam Yadav, picking up her 5 wickets for 19 runs. Gaikwad contributing with 2 and Mansi, the pick of the bowlers early on. India came back with a strong reply. 61 achieved in just 9 overs, losing Veda Krishnamurthy. He got out on 29. Mona Meshram and Harmanpreet Kaur remaining not out on 21 and 11 respectively. That's it from Sara Oval, Colombo today. But we will be back on the 15th of Feb for the first of the Super 6 matches. Thanks for joining in. See you then. Goodbye.